A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company presents X minus 1. The Haunted Corpse by Frederick Pohl. It was 2200 hours when my task force of 135 picked men and a wax stenographer, all fully equipped for any emergency, surrounded the big house. Just as I stepped out of my Jeep, the old boy himself came storming out of the house with fire in his eye. While he was still ranting and raving, I gave him a soft salute and waited for him to finish.
Go on, get the whole bunch of you. This is private property and you're trespassing. I won't have it, you hear? Now go on, get out.
I'm Colonel Windermere, sir. My orders are to establish a security cordon around your laboratories. Here you are, Dr. Horn. Your copy of the orders.
You can take those orders. Say, who put you up to this? I know, Van Pelt. Why, that rotten, overstuffed, backstabbing monster of a...
Dr. Horn.
Oh, I know, Van Pelt. I ought to. He worked as my associate for years. But that doesn't give him the right to turn traitor and go running off to the Pentagon with a story about the Horn effect.
Excuse me, Dr. Horn. The General asked me to give you his personal assurance that my men will not in any way interfere with your work here. It's just a matter of security.
Security? Now, listen here, Lieutenant. I won't tolerate...
Excuse me, sir. It's Colonel. Lieutenant Colonel Windermere.
Colonel, General, Lieutenant, what do I care what full title you stick on your name? The Horn effect is my personal property. Not yours, not Van Pelt's, not the Pentagon's. Not anybody's but mine. You and your whole army can go plumb to the devil. Good day.
I watched the old man, he must have been all of 85, go stalking back into the house. During the night, a wire-stringing detail surrounded the whole place with 3-strand electrified barbed wire with guard towers every 50 yards. I inspected the whole establishment before breakfast the next morning. And then, satisfied that everything was in order, I ate breakfast in my tent. I was interrupted by the appearance of Van Pelt, the fat and chubby scientist who had sent the original report to Washington.
What did he say? How did he take it, Colonel? I mean, is he sore?
Sore as a boil, Doctor.
Oh. Well, you're here, so I guess he won't try anything. By the way, I didn't get a chance to have breakfast in town, and I wonder...
Oh, of course. Have some bacon and eggs.
Thank you very much. It looks delicious.
I watched him gobble up the rest of my breakfast. I was beginning to understand why Van Pelt and Horn didn't get along very well. Why Van Pelt finally went running to the Pentagon with his report. Of course, it was my job to keep an open mind, but I couldn't help thinking how I'd feel if my exec, Captain Lefferts, went over my head in that way. No, I couldn't blame Dr. Horn for being angry. At 1400, I went to see the doctor again. I brought along Corporal McCabe, my wax stenographer.
Well, what do you two want?
Good afternoon, Dr. Horn. I'm here to get your daily progress report.
Daily? You want to report every day?
Yes, sir. Refer to paragraph 8 of my orders. Corporal McCabe here is an expert stenographer. She'll take down your dictation.
Dictation? No, I won't do it. I absolutely will not do it.
You'll have to do it, sir.
Why,
Orders.
why, you and your stinking little two-bit army. I ought to... Oh. Progress report, you say?
Yes, sir.
You're going to stick to what you say?
I must, sir.
Well, I suppose I must reconcile myself to the situation. Now, exactly what is it that you want, Lieutenant?
The report, sir, and it's Colonel, not Lieutenant.
Yes, just so. The report, all about my work, is that it?
You may speak freely, Doctor. Corporal McCabe has full security clearance.
Well, that must make her very happy. Yes, the report. Just so.
You're listening to The Haunted Corpse on X-1.
Have you ever read the want ads? Well, say one morning you pick up your hometown paper and spot an ad which reads, Wanted, for important position with fast-growing concern. Native-born American citizen, male or female, at least 35 years of age. Must be able to give proof of 14-year residence in the United States. Position of 4-year duration with possible renewal. Room and board furnished. Yearly salary, $100,000, with an additional $40,000 for travel and official entertainment, plus $50,000 for operating expenses. Summer residence furnished with paid vacation. Qualifications of applicant carefully checked before position assigned. Now, an ad sounds mighty attractive, doesn't it? But the job it describes isn't a soft one by any means. As a matter of fact, it's probably the toughest job in America, that of being President of the United States. And the first job of each president is to take an oath that he will faithfully execute the office to which he's been named and will, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Yes, the job of being president is a mighty important one, but preserving and protecting the Constitution is even more important, because the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. The president may veto a bill, but if Congress, by a 2/3 majority, passes the bill over his veto, it becomes a law under the Constitution, unless set aside by judicial judgment. Thus, the best interests of the people are protected. That's how your American Constitution works.
Now, back to X-1 and The Haunted Corpse.
I wasn't deceived by Dr. Horn's sudden willingness to cooperate. He was probably trying to win my confidence so they could find a way to phone his congressman and make trouble for the whole operation. But I merely nodded to Corporal McCabe, who opened her notebook and got ready to take the dictation.
Very well. This machine you see here is my polycloid quasitron. Now, to understand its operation, let me explain.
Sir, excuse me, that term...
Oh, yes. Dr. Horn, would you kindly spell those two words for the corporal?
Just so. Polycloid quasitron.
Thank you, sir.
Just so. Well, now, the various...
It was rough going for about an hour. The doctor had to pause every 50 seconds to spell a word for McCabe, who was looking more and more ill at ease. But there was one virtue to this slow pace. I was able to follow it all fairly well. And when the doctor finally stopped, I was ready to sum it up for him.
I hope, Lieutenant, that I made myself clear?
Yes, sir. In other words, you've perfected a method of electronically killing a man without touching him.
What? Electronically killing a man without touching him?
Yes, sir.
Just so, Lieutenant, just so. Will you tell me one thing? What in the sweet name of heaven did I say that gave you that particularly stupid notion?
Well, sir, that's what you said. It is also what my briefing from General Follansby at the Pentagon gave me to understand.
Oh, rubbish. Oh, I see what you mean. Just so. I confess I wondered why you're here in the first place. The government feels that this is a weapon.
Of course, sir.
Oh, well, now we understand each other. My machine renders humans into corpses. So does a chipped flint, for that matter. Yeah, but never mind. That is the aspect which interests you. Yeah. Very good. But mark this, Lieutenant. My quasitron does something no chipped flint can do. It removes from the human body that thing which possesses only a negative definition, the quantity that we'll term X, which, added to the body, produces a man, subtracted leaves a corpse. Oh, but you don't care about all that, do you?
Sir, I don't follow you.
No, you're darn right you don't. We're all corpses, don't you see? Corpses inhabited by ghosts. And there's only one man in the world who can separate the two without destroying them. And that is me. And there's only one way to do it, and that's with the quasitron. Good day, Lieutenant.
Corporal McCabe and I left hurriedly. I was ready now to make my situation analysis according to orders, but I decided to check one fact. I summoned Van Pelt to my tent that night.
No, Colonel Windermere. He's perfectly sane. Perfectly. But he is also dangerous. Particularly dangerous to me. I mean, of course, if I haven't the Army's promise of complete protection. Colonel, that bowl of fruit looks tempting. I wonder if I...
Oh, help yourself, Dr. Pelt.
Thank you. Tasty. Very tasty.
Dr. Van Pelt, I must have the straight dope on horn. What's this ghost business?
My goodness, Colonel, that's just the old man's way of putting it. Forget the term ghost if it really distresses you. Now, whatever you want to call this thing in the body, life, intelligence, or whatnot, this is what his machine works on. If he wishes, he can replace this quantity or remove it from body to body. You might call the operation a transference. A transference of personality. Yes, that will describe it.
Well, I got rid of Van Pelt fast after that. Now I had something really exciting to look into. This old man had a machine that could take a person out of his body and put him into another one if he liked. Next morning I demanded a demonstration, and Dr. Horn showed me how he could change a hen and a cocker spaniel with the quasitron. It was weird, but impressive and convincing.
Well, Lieutenant, do you believe in my machine now?
Remarkable. But can it work with people?
Oh, indeed it can, but these ridiculous laws governing the conduct of institutions. Heaven knows I've tried to get permission for an experiment. A man dying of cancer, for instance, to exchange with a feeble-minded youth. Why not? Put the sound mind in the sound body and let the other die. But no, they won't have it.
I see. Then it actually has never been done.
No, but... Now, you're here, Lieutenant, a military man, very brave. Just so. All I've ever needed was a volunteer. Now, Van Pelt refused, the coward. So is everyone else, but now you...
Negative, sir, negative. I am not a lieutenant, doctor. I am a field-grade officer. But if there is a need for volunteers, I can find them for you, sir.
You can? You really can?
Yes, sir. I can think of several likely prospects. Give me until tomorrow.
Just so, Lieutenant. Major, Captain, then. Tomorrow will do splendidly.
My immediate job was to get the volunteers. I would require two. The first was easy. A private in Able Company. I sent for him, and he appeared looking apprehensive.
Sir, the colonel sent for me?
I did. You're the latrine orderly of Able Company?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
There's a report on you. AWOL. That means a court-martial. You're aware of the possible consequences?
Yes, sir, I am, sir.
There is a possibility that these charges might be dropped. It depends upon our finding a volunteer for a special job.
Is that all, sir? Oh, I volunteer, Colonel. When do I start, sir?
That was one. The second was a bit more of a problem. I thought at once of my executive officer, Captain Lefferts, a fine officer typical of the best leadership type. He had just been married, and he had no desire to be transferred to Saudi Arabia.
Let me get this straight, Colonel. Are you saying that if I volunteer for this assignment, there's a possibility my orders might be changed?
Captain, I hold your transfer orders in my hand. If you decide to volunteer, I will destroy them.
Sir, I volunteer.
So it was done. The next morning, both men were strapped into Horn's infernal machine. There was a great crackling and sparking.
There. It's done.
May I speak to my men?
Go right ahead, Lieutenant.
The orderly first. You, name, rank, and serial number.
Sir? Lefferts, Robert T., Captain AUS, serial number 0333965. Oh, sir, about that transfer to Saudi Arabia.
No, that'll do. Good heavens. And now you.
Colonel, sir, I changed my mind. If I can't go back to latrine orderly, I'll take the guardhouse, sir.
It worked. At ease, men.
You really did it, Dr. Horn.
Just so, Lieutenant, just so. I really did.
Horn switched the two men back again while I rushed for the telephone. Crash priority, the Pentagon, General Follansby, priority and classified. Ask the General to stand by for Scrambler. A weapon? This was far more than a weapon. We had the world by the tail. I got through to the General, and I was excited as I pointed out the implications of the device. Suppose a hostile representative visited this country, I told him. One of our men could switch places with him, and no one would ever guess. In time, we could have our men in the top positions of every government in the world. Our men reporting to us. It was the greatest opportunity any government ever had. The General was impressed in spite of himself. We arranged an appointment in the Pentagon for the next morning. As I hung up, I fingered the silver leaf on my shoulder. It would soon be a star.
Colonel!
What is it, O'Hare?
Sir, I don't know how to put this. I'm afraid Dr. Van Pelt has gone psycho, sir.
Why, Sergeant? What's he done?
He's raving, sir. He says Dr. Horn wants to live forever. He says all Horn was waiting for was to make a test on a human being. He says now you've given Horn his test, Horn is going to grab the first human being he can find and, excuse me, sir, this is what he said, and steal his body.
Great Scott! Where's Van Pelt now?
In the laboratory, sir, with Dr. Horn. Gee, is everybody around here nuts?
I saw it all in a flash. Dr. Horn had a brilliant mind, but a worn-out body. He was going to make a switch before his own aging machinery broke down. I had to stop him. Van Pelt was there, literally asking for it. When I opened the door of the lab, I stumbled over Horn's body, dead. He'd already done it. Next to his body sprawled my whack, Corporal McCabe, stunned by a blow on the head as she tried to prevent the tragedy. And there at the machine was Van Pelt, or what used to be Van Pelt, striking the complicated machinery with one blow after another.
Too late, Colonel! Too late!
Don't destroy the machine! Stop!
It's too late, I tell you! Too late!
Not that I know who you are. You're not Van Pelt. You're Horn. Get away from that machine!
No! Not till it's destroyed! Destroyed! Destroyed!
McCabe, you killed him. You fool, you unutterable ass. Wing him, yes. Stop him from smashing the machine, yes. But why did you have to shoot to kill?
It seemed the best way.
You've ruined everything now. Horn's dead, and so is Van Pelt. The machine is wrecked beyond repair. Sorry, Corporal, but I'm putting you under arrest. Give me that gun.
I'm afraid not. You're fundamentally a nice guy, so I'm just going to lock you in here long enough to get away, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant? Horn! You're Dr. Horn!
Just so, Lieutenant. Just so. Goodbye.
X-1 has brought you The Haunted Corpse, a story written by Frederick Pohl and adapted for radio by William Welch. Featured in our cast were Edgar Staley as Dr. Horn, Walter Black as the Colonel, and Dean Lyman Almquist as Van Pelt. Others in our cast were Lydia Bruce, Alan Collins, Bob Hastings, and Ralph Camargo. This is Fred Collins speaking. X-1 was directed by George Voutsas and is an NBC Radio Network production.
We pause now for station identification.
On board the Gregory boat, the scene is one of quiet yet steady activity. The boat is plowing through the fishing banks off the coast of Lower California, Mexico. Mrs. Gregory and Joan, acting on Captain Bradford's orders, are locked in their cabin, while Jerry and the captain take turns at the wheel where they can keep an eye on the Swedish engineer, Peterson. After a radio message from the girl commander of the Euclidean submarine they know to be following them, Joan Gregory has hinted that Peterson may be the Euclidean electrical wizard Thales in disguise. Captain Bradford is just relieving Jerry at the wheel, and they stand talking before Jerry turns in for some much-needed rest.
I'm all right, Captain.
Yes, I know you're all right, but you're tired, Jerry.
Oh, that won't hurt me any.
Of course it won't. Be good for you if you get enough rest to make up for it. Now you run along and turn in.
Well, I'll go in a minute. But there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about first.
Well, maybe it'll relax you a little to talk. Go to it, Jerry.
Oh, for one thing, look at that barometer.
Huh? Well, looks like we might have a little weather.
Well, we're getting down into the right latitude for a Chubasco.
Well, we might get one at that. We're a little too far off the coast for one of those Mexican hurricanes to hit us very hard.
Well, just the same, I've got a notion we're going to get hit by one.
Ever ride one of those things out?
Yep. When I was only 12 years old, Dad took me on a deep-sea fishing cruise with him, and we got caught in a storm down there. The fishermen called it Chubasco, and it was sure something.
Yeah, they're mean, Jerry, and they come up quick.
Well, could we get through one in a boat like this?
Oh, I think so, if we were lucky enough to hit the edge of it, and we're out too far to get the center.
Well, this boat looks mighty small when you think how high those waves get, and that wind blows plenty.
That's bad, all right, Jerry, but we've got unusual engines in this boat. Nearly 3,000 horsepower. We can hold into the storm forever if we don't get swamped.
Yeah, if.
Well, we're not in any storm yet, and I don't believe we're going to get in any one, so stop worrying about it.
Okay, Skipper.
You said you had something else you wanted to talk to me about?
Yes. Well, it's sort of about the same thing, but it's about something else.
That's very clear, I'm sure. It's about the same thing, but it's something else.
Well, you know what I mean. It's about the storm, if we run into one, and about those powerful motors of ours.
You sound serious, son. Talk some more.
Well, you know how to run these motors, and I guess it's all right if you stay awake to watch them every minute. But if anything happens while I'm on watch, I'm not so sure I can handle it.
If anything happens to the motors? That's not likely, but Peterson can do more with the marine engines than he men on the West Coast today.
Well, I know he can, and I'm afraid he'll do it.
What?
Well, he knows just too plain much about those engines to suit me.
Yes, I'm beginning to see what you mean, Jerry. If we do run into a storm, those engines are going to mean the difference between getting out of that storm and not getting out of it. And if Peterson is his fellow Thales, he might not feel like helping us any.
That's what I meant.
Well, to tell you the truth, Jerry, I'm not the least worried about Jones' suspicions. Oh, of course, Pete could easily be spending part of his time on the island as one of those scientists, the rest of it around Los Angeles, posing as a marine engineer, but I just don't believe that's the story.
Well, I do. Jones says those men of G-47s are from every country in the world, and if Peterson is smart enough to be as good an electrical engineer as he is a marine engineer, well, he could be Thales easy enough.
Well, I'll admit there's room for your worries, kid, and I'll keep an eye on Pete if we run into trouble.
No, we won't have to run very far. Looks to me like we're in a storm right now.
No doubt of it now, Jerry. In mighty few minutes, we're going to be somewhere near the center of a man-sized hurricane.
Then I'm not going to turn in.
Afraid it wouldn't do you much good. You'd soon get turned out anyway.
Well, maybe I'd better go and wake up Mrs. Gregory and Joan.
Might as well. They're never going to be able to sleep through this, and they might feel better to be dressed and ready for it.
Well, I'll go and wake them up. Then I'll come back to you.
Be sure and tell them to put on plenty of warm clothing and some oilskins if they're coming out on deck.
Okay, Skipper. I'll tell them. Oh, boy. Those engines sound like the stern's coming clean out of the water.
Yes, who is it?
It's me, Jerry. You'd better get up and dress. We're running into a storm.
I can't hear you.
I said it's Jerry. You'd better get dressed. We're running into a storm. Put on a lot of warm clothes.
We're dressing now, Jerry. We'll put on our slippers and be out in a few minutes.
I'll be at the wheel with Tex.
We'll join you there.
They were already getting up, Tex.
Just as well. This thing is going to be bad. It's coming faster than anyone I ever saw. Must have sneaked up on us in the dark.
Everything's running all right, though.
Oh, we'll get through it, but we're liable to get pretty wet before it's all over.
Is it all right for Mrs. Gregory and Joan to come out here on the deck?
It is now, but if it gets too bad, they'll have to stay in their cabin.
The engineer seems to be making those engines behave.
He'd better. We wouldn't be any too happy here without motors.
Say, where's the cook?
He's trying to make some hot coffee, but I'll bet he's having trouble keeping the coffee put on the stove.
Hey! That's too rough for me.
I don't know about this thing, Jerry. If it gets too bad, we'll use the radio and have someone to stand by for us.
Nobody's going to come into the middle of this thing and try to find us in the dark.
No, but they could be waiting to pick us up when we get out on the edge of it.
Can you tell if we're in the worst part of it?
We're not yet, but the trouble with these things is that you can't tell where the center of the storm is. We may be heading right for it.
Well, I hope it never gets any worse.
We'll be all right as long as those motors keep going and the rudder post stays in.
One of those Euclidean submarines would look pretty good to me right now.
It would if that's done. You get down in the water a few fathoms, you never know there was a storm up here.
Our girlfriend must be right under us with her sub.
Yes, and that's an idea. Supposing you go to the radio shack and see if you can raise her. You may be glad she's following us before this thing's over.
You want me to go and do it right now?
Yes, and take Pat and Joan in there with you. We'll keep them from worrying about this storm.
Okay. I'll see if they're ready.
Is that you, Jerry?
Sure, it's me.
Where's Tex?
At the wheel. But he wants you to come into the radio shack with me. I'm going to call the girl commander in the submarine.
Are we in danger, Jerry?
No, but
I think we are. Joan, you go with Jerry. I'll join Tex at the wheel.
But Mrs. Gregory, the captain said for me to take you into the radio room.
I'll be responsible for that. You take Joan into the radio room and do as Tex orders.
Watch out for the spray when you're past that cabin.
Is the boat able to stand such a storm, Jerry?
I don't know. Come on. We've got to get busy in the radio shack.
Why do you call the radio cabin a shack?
Oh, for the love of mud, Joan. This is no time to ask questions. Now hang on to my coattail and we'll see if we can get around to the starboard side. Hang on tight, Joan.
I will, Jerry.
Boy, that's getting bad.
It does seem so on this little boat.
Well, this little boat is all we've got right now. Hope I can raise the commander on this thing.
What wavelength were you using the last time we talked with her?
3 meters?
Then she will be waiting for your signal on 3 meters.
I hope so. Commander S1. Jerry Hall to Commander S1. Gregory Boat, Euclidean submarine. Hello, sub. Jerry Hall to Commander S1.
Commander S1 to Gregory Boat. You may proceed, Jerry Hall. Proceed with your message.
Hello, Commander. Looks like we may need you before this is over. The storm is getting pretty bad up here on the surface. What can you do to help us out?
I will bring my command up to 3 fathoms. Drop your bow anchor at once. I will take your anchor with my stern magnetic fin. Reverse your motors. Run them at full speed astern. If your anchor chain holds, that will stabilize you. Drop your anchor at once. That is all.
Okay, Commander. Well, Joan, I guess she thinks it's serious, so she wouldn't do that. You stay here and listen to this radio, and I'll report to Tex and drop that anchor, and then I'll come back in here with you.
I will do as you wish, Jerry.
Hey, look out! You don't get hurt by some of this stuff sliding around in here. So hang on the radio table.
Yes.
It's folded to the deck.
I will take care of myself. Hurry and drop the anchor.
I'm going right now. Hey, Tex! Tex! Mrs. Gregory!
Hang on to the rails, Jerry. We're right here.
I just talked to the commander of the submarine.
Get closer, Jerry. We can't hear you.
I said I just talked to the girl commander. She had me drop the bow anchor. She's coming up the 3 fathoms to grab it with that magnetic fin in the stern of the sub. She wants us to reverse the motors to hold the anchor chain steady while she drags us out of this.
Good work, kid, and that's fine, all but one thing. We haven't got any motors.
What?
The motors stopped, Jerry.
And I'll bet that guy Peterson stopped them.
Looks like it. We haven't shipped enough water to hurt the engines any.
Then that means Peterson is Daly's, just like Joan said.
I'm afraid it does, Jerry.
Boy, this boat's sure rocking around us. I hope that girl hurries up about tying this submarine onto us.
Is Joan in the radio room?
Yep, she's all right.
You go back in with her, Jerry, and you too, Pat.
I'll stay here with you, Tex. Go back and stay with Joan. Will you please, Jerry?
And keep in touch with the sub all the time. Tell her our motors are dead and she may have to use all her speed to keep us straightened out.
Okay, Tex. I'll tell her.
Is the storm getting worse, Jerry? The boat is tossing about much more.
Well, I don't know about the storm, but our engines are dead.
Was that an accident?
No, I don't think so. And the captain doesn't think so either.
Then I was right. Peterson, the engineer, is Thales, the Euclidean.
And it looks like it. Now keep quiet while I tell that girl sub-commander about our motors. Jerry Hall, the commander, S1. Gregory Boat, Euclidean submarine.
Jerry, the submarine magnets have just picked up our anchor.
Yeah. Now keep still and let me try to pick up the commander. Jerry Hall, the commander, S1. Jerry Hall, the commander, S1. Gregory Boat, the Euclidean submarine. Our motors have stopped. Can you hear me? Our engines have stopped. Can you hear me, Commander? Jerry Hall, the submarine. Hello, Commander. Can you hear me? Our engines have stopped. Hello. Hello. Hello.
The journey back to Magic Island is proving much more difficult than the escape from the island. Just off the coast of Lower California, Old Mexico, the Gregory boat has run into one of the hurricanes so common to that locality, known as the Chubasco. The storm is so bad that the small boat is in great danger, which is increased when the motors stop and leave them helpless. Jerry radios to the girl commander of the Euclidean submarine, which is following them, and she picks up their anchor with a magnetic fin on the stern of the submarine. For several hours, the storm rages, then is gone as suddenly as it appeared. We find Captain Bradford and Mrs. Gregory standing at the wheel as the storm subsides.
Oh, Tex, that was the worst storm I've ever been through.
Certainly the worst I ever went through, and a boat as small and helpless as this one.
Now that the wind has gone down, we're moving awfully fast. Do you think it's safe to be towed at this speed?
Might be a good idea to go a little slower. That girl certainly makes that submarine move along.
What are your chances of starting the engines?
Can't tell until I look at them and see how much damage Peterson did.
You're sure he did it?
How else did it happen?
Accident?
No chance. Those motors quit cold when they were running perfectly. That was no accident.
Where is Peterson now?
That's what we'll have to find out. We should go and stay with Joan in the radio room and send Jerry to me.
Well, can't I help you?
Nothing for you to do. I'll feel safer if you're in the cabin with Joan when we round Peterson up. And while you're in there, call the submarine commander. Explain our position to her. Tell her that this speed is too high in smooth water. She'll have to cut down to about 25 knots if she's going to lose us.
Very well, Tex. You'll be careful, won't you?
Don't worry about me. Run along. There's Jerry coming out of the cabin now.
Well, I'll hurry in and stay with Joan.
Oh, Mrs. Gregory. Storm all over?
Well, it looks like it, Jerry. I'm going in with Joan, and the captain wants to see you right away.
Okay. Joan's listening to the radio. Morning, Skipper. That submarine's sure dragging us along.
Yeah, a little too fast, Jerry. I just told Mr. Gregory to radio that girl commander to cut her speed to 25 knots. She'll have us flying if this keeps up.
Did you try to start the motors?
Haven't had a chance to see what's wrong with them. Didn't dare leave this wheel while the storm was so high.
Oh, I'll take the wheel if you want to look at the engines now.
Good idea, kid. Take it over, and you'll have to handle it like a basket of eggs until we lose some of the speed.
How about the course?
You don't have to worry about that.
Oh, sure, I forgot. Submarine's towing us.
Yeah, when a boat like this makes 35 knots, you can be sure something's towing us. Well, I'll shove off and have a look at the engines, and, Jerry.
Yes, sir?
If the engineer shows up before I find him, tell him to come and see me. Understand that now. Don't enter into any conversation with him. Leave that to me.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
Hello there, young feller.
Huh? Oh. Hey, say, where have you... Oh, never mind. Go see the captain.
Where is the captain?
Down in the engine room, trying to start the motors.
He's going to find that pretty hard job, you betcha. I try all night to start them engines.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did.
Okay. What stopped them in the first place?
How should I know?
Oh, maybe you shouldn't. You're just the engineer on this boat.
When a motor gets ready to quit, it quits. By Jiminy, what makes us go so fast?
Oh, you don't know, huh?
How should I know?
Yeah, I know. You're just the engineer on this boat. And I suppose you didn't know that there was a Euclidean submarine towing us ever since 2 o'clock this morning.
I wonder why the boat goes better without the motor.
Sure, and being an engineer, you figured it was all right if the boat got along swell without you. So you crawled into a lifeboat and went to sleep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
It's no guess. The lifeboat was the only place you could have been. Now, you better go down the engine room and see the captain.
I got to go see Mrs. Gregory
You're
first.
not going one step toward her cabin?
What was that you said?
You heard me. Don't you even start around that side of the boat. Now, you get in that engine room and start explaining to the captain.
Explaining what?
Plenty of things. But the captain will ask the questions. My business is steering this boat.
Then give your best attention to your business.
Hey, where did that voice come from?
You will learn where a great many things come from if you attempt to prevent my reaching Mrs. Gregory's cabin.
So, Joan was right. You're Thales, the Euclidean electrical engineer.
Precisely. I am Thales, as well as the trusted and simple Swedish engineer on this boat.
Well, you won't be trusted anymore. Now, you going to start for that engine room, Peterson, or Thales, or whatever your name is?
I am going to Mrs. Gregory's cabin.
Oh, no, you're not. Just take one step, and I'll use this.
So, you have one of the small 60-second ray guns, eh?
You bet I have. And I know which end of it works, too.
You would be doing a very foolish thing to use that on me. G47 would not regard your act as particularly friendly to Euclidia.
Well, something tells me you're not going to be in any too good with G47 after he hears about this trip. We were supposed to be allowed to reach the Magic Island safely, and you're sure not helping us along any.
I will be the judge of what G47 will think of this trip.
Well, in just about 5 seconds, you won't be the judge of anything. Let him have it, Jim. Good boy, Jimmy. You sure laid him out.
It is written when frying pan hit head was in wrong place.
Well, you sure know what to do with a frying pan besides cooking it.
It is a poor skillet which will not serve two masters.
Well, I saw you sneaking up on him, but I was afraid you'd never make it before he turned around.
Jim Lowe do not care which way head is looking when flying pan falls. If he look too quick, I drop pan quick.
Well, you sure did a good job. Now run down the engine room and tell Captain Bradford to get up here quick.
Maybe more better let skillet fall on head one more time. Then this fellow boy will not wake up too soon.
Oh, he won't wake up too soon. The way he hit that deck, I'll be surprised if he wakes up before we get to the island. Now you run and get the captain. He'll know what to do from here on in.
You take fry pan. If he put head up, you put it down again.
Okay, Jim. Mighty good idea to have this in my hand at that.
I go now. Get Captain Bradford. Remember, Jerry, if head come up, hand go down.
Don't worry, Jim. I'll drop it.
Well, Jerry, we've been waiting for you to call us to breakfast, and... Why, Jerry, what's this?
Oh, this is the frying pan from the galley.
Did you hit Peterson with it?
Not yet.
Well, what's happened?
Well, the Chinese cook let this pan fall on Peterson's head, and he pushed it a little bit as it fell.
Jim Lowe knocked the engineer unconscious with that frying pan?
He sure did, but that's only part of the story. Peterson's is Thales.
Are you sure, Jerry?
Oh, he got so mad when I couldn't let him come to your cabin that he forgot to talk like a Swede and sound just like G47.
Then the warning of that girl submarine commander was correct.
Well, I'll say it was. And I think this guy was coming to wreck our boat.
But if he'd done that, he would have gone down with the rest of us.
Well, I guess he figured on the submarine saving him. He didn't believe me when I told him he was in plenty bad with old G47.
There's no doubt about that. But, Jerry, where's Jim Lowe now and Captain Bradford?
Well, the captain went down to the engine room, and I sent Jim down there to get him. Here he comes now.
All right, Jim, you stay there until I get back. Coming right up, Jerry. Everything all right here?
Well, sure is. There's your engineer.
Tex, from what Jerry tells me, I gather that Jim Lowe is the hero of the hour.
Yes, he is, and he knows it, too. He had to explain to me just how he hit Peterson with it. And he said the sound of the frying pan on Pete's head was music to his ears, like the stroke of a big temple gong.
It did make a swell bong when he hit him.
And Peterson was really Thales.
Looks like it.
Well, what'll we do with him?
Only one thing to do that I can see. Tie him up and sit on him until we get to the island.
Well, I don't like the idea of having to watch that guy for days and days. He's too slick.
I think you're right, Jerry. It would be hard to keep as clever a man as that prisoner on this boat for long.
Say, wait a minute, I've got it. Jerry.
Yes, sir?
Go in the radio room. You and Joan raise the girl commander on the submarine that's towing us. Ask her what to do with this fellow. She'll know fast enough.
A good idea. She ought to be told about this anyway.
Yes, she's certainly entitled to the information. After all, it was her warning that allowed us to be prepared for this.
No doubt of it. Run along, Jerry. Have a talk with that girl in the sub. Then you and Joan come back here and we'll see about some breakfast.
Oh, can Jim cook it without his frying pan?
You can leave the pan here with us. Just now, Jim's looking for the lost pieces of the motors.
The lost pieces?
Yes, I'm afraid Pete, or rather Thales here, took some of the vital parts off the motors and threw them overboard.
Nice little fella he is. Well, here's your frying pan. And if Jim's still busy when we get back, Joan and I'll cook the breakfast.
Well, call that sub as quick as you can.
Aye, aye, sir.
Who is it?
Jerry, can I come in?
One moment until I unlock the door. Come in, Jerry.
Boy, have I got the news.
What is it?
Shut that door and let's get this radio set started.
The radio is ready to use now, Jerry. What is your news?
Well, you'll hear it if you listen when I tell it to the girl submarine commander.
Jerry, you have found Thales.
I'll say we have.
Where?
Lying on the deck.
You found him there?
No, I left him there.
How did he get there?
Jim Lowe put him there with a frying pan.
A frying pan?
Yes, sir, a frying pan. Now, keep quiet. Let me call this girl submarine commander on the
But,
sub.
Jerry, are you sure
I said keep quiet and let me use this radio. Captain Bradford's orders, and he said to hurry it up.
Very well.
Calling Commander S1, Jerry Hall on Gregory Boat to Commander S1. Hello, submarine. Gregory Boat to Euclidean submarine. Hello, Commander.
S1
Hello.
to Jerry Hall. You may proceed, Hall. Proceed with your message.
First thing is, will you please slow down to 25 knots? We can't stay in the water much longer at this speed. We'll be up in the clouds.
Will curtail speed to accommodate proper towing of your craft in smooth water. Proceed with balance of message.
We found Thales.
Proceed with your message.
Well, gee whiz. Aren't you surprised? I said we found Thales. Thales.
I understood you. Proceed with your message.
Oh, golly whiskers. You might get excited about it.
It is what I warned you to expect. You are wasting time, Hall. Proceed.
Hurry up, Jerry.
Okay. Well, we found out that our engineer, a fellow Mrs. Gregory and Captain Bradford have known for years, was really Thales. He sure sounded Swedish enough until he got mad at me. Then he sounded like old G47. Our Chinese cook knocked him out with a frying pan, and we want to know what to do with him.
He will be returned to Euclidia as a prisoner. G47 will deal with him.
Yeah, we figured that, but we're not sure we can hold him that long. There's nothing on board this boat that was made to keep a guy like that prisoner.
I will accept the responsibility of his delivery to G47. Prepare your landing stage on the starboard side. I will rise to the surface and take the prisoner aboard the submarine. You will arrange to deliver him to me at once. That is all.
Okay, Commander. We'll have him ready.
I am so glad we will not have him aboard this boat.
So am I. There goes the Magnus. She's dropped her anchor chain, and in about a minute the nose of her sub will be sticking up out of the water. Come on, Joan. We've got to get ready to turn Thales over to her.
Exploring tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell.
The 2 o'clock jet from Montana has just landed at New York, bringing in some 200 passengers, including some who have come to the world's largest city for the first time. Roy Bartlett is one of these. Big strapping kid out to seek fame and/or fortune, and New York was ready for him. The ancient custom of fleecing the country yokel will not die out for quite a few centuries to come. He just emerged from the port terminal and was looking around, big-eyed and confused and bewildered by the immensity of it all, when a girl came up to him.
Hello there. Waiting for someone?
You speak to me, miss?
That's who I was talking to, handsome. I asked you, are you waiting for someone?
Oh, no. That is... I just got here, miss. I came in from Montana on the jet plane there.
Oh. You got friends here?
Oh, I'm afraid I don't, miss. I just sort of decided to up and come to the city and sort of try my luck at it.
Well, maybe I can help you. I sort of like you.
You do?
Mm-hmm. You know, something in me wants to help strangers, to show them the ropes. And I've got free time now. I'd like to, spend it with you.
Oh, you're so kind. You're so pretty.
You think so?
Oh, yes. You're the prettiest girl I've ever seen. Your smile, your eyes, you're good. I can tell you're warm and sweet. It's good of you to come to talk to me like this, to stand so close to me.
Well, I think I like you, too. What did you say your name was?
I didn't. Oh, I mean, it's Bartlett, Roy Bartlett.
Well, I'm Diana Lawson. You're big. Strong out there. Handsome.
Well, does it always happen this way?
Suppose we stop in for a bite to eat at that refresher mat and get to know each other, huh?
I think that's a wonderful idea.
You see how it works, Troy? Each drink you want, you put a half credit coin in the slot and punch out the combination.
Mm-hmm.
For a martini, you punch out 436, like it says on the board up there. Here, give me the money. I'll get us some drinks. Huh?
All right.
436. There we are.
Wow.
2 nice dry martinis. Here, you take yours and we'll go to that table. Oh, careful, silly. Don't spill it.
Well, aren't we going to get anything to eat?
Oh, we can eat later. The occasion calls for a drink to celebrate your arrival. Here you are. And sip it this time.
Well, I'm sorry if I did the wrong thing with the drink. I just didn't know, you know.
Of course you didn't know. But you'll learn all these things, Roy. Where you from? Why are you here?
Well, I worked all my life on my father's farm, and he died last year and left me all alone out there, see?
Oh.
I kept things going a while and then figured I ought to try something different. And sold the farm and I bought a ticket to New York. A one-way ticket.
Oh. It must seem like a different world to you.
Oh, it does. Big and frightening, unfriendly. At least it seemed unfriendly at first. Till I met you, Diane. I can't ever thank you enough for coming over to me when I was alone.
You don't need to thank me, Roy. Just common decency to help a stranger out. Especially when he's a good-looking stranger. When are you seeing the central computer?
The what?
The central computer.
Huh?
Well, it runs New York, you know. Keeps the trains moving, the traffic lights, everything. You have to register with the computer when you establish permanent residence here. If you don't have a job, the computer will give you one. You didn't know that?
I guess I hadn't heard. Well, where do I find this computer?
Just ask any policeman. He'll get you there.
Diana, you're swell for helping me out like this. I mean, I was... Oh, there's some way I could thank you for this.
Oh, I told you it's just common decency. Roy, the money from the sale of your farm, did you bring it with you?
You bet. Yes, sir. $5,000 in cash and the same in traveler's checks.
Oh, so much. You're carrying it around with you?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, that's dangerous, Roy. You better put it in the bank right away.
Well, I don't know any banks.
Oh, I'll take you to one. Come on. Unless you want another drink before we go.
No, I haven't finished this one yet. Here, wait a minute. those things taste better after you've had a few, you know.
Now, come along. I'll take you to the bank and then to the computer.
Oh, it's wonderful of you to take this interest in me. They warned me New Yorkers were unfriendly people, but they sure aren't.
Down this way. In here.
But it's dark and there's... Hey!
Go ahead, Mike. Hit him.
Get away from me, you! Leave me alone! Diana! Come back! Diana!
You are Roy Bartlett, age 25, height 6 feet 2 inches, weight 185 pounds, born in Helena, Montana, 17 February 2184. Parents deceased. If any of this information is incorrect, please amend it.
That's all correct, sir.
Use of honorific titles is not necessary when addressing us. According to the report of the police officer who found you, you were beaten and robbed shortly after your arrival in New York.
That's right. She said she wanted to help me, to show me the ropes in New York.
Identify more specifically the she to whom you refer.
She gave her name as Diana Lawson.
Describe her.
Oh, she's medium height, 5'4" or so, and blonde hair. Good looking. Cute face, though the eyes are a little hard now that I think about it. She looks about 23 or so.
Our record banks hold no information on someone of that name fitting the description you give. The name was obviously assumed. Your introduction to New York life was unfortunate, but not uncommon. Do you plan to remain here as a permanent citizen?
Yes, I mean, yes.
What are your vocational plans?
I'm afraid I don't have any.
Your previous experience is wholly agricultural. This will be of little use to you in the metropolitan area. Have you any preference for the type of work you would like to do? This would guide us in assigning you.
I'd like to help people, if you know what I mean. I'd like to keep people from having the thing happen that happened to me. I mean, New York is full of confused, unhappy people who have to prey on others like the girl did on me.
You regard her as confused, unhappy?
Of course. I can't think of her as being just, well, wicked. People aren't born bad or good, they're raised that way. Maybe she could have been helped a few years ago, and then she wouldn't have to go around robbing strangers.
You harbor no hatred for the girl.
I sort of never looked at it as hatred, sir. I'm sorry, sir, I can't help calling you, sir.
If it makes you more comfortable, you may.
Thanks, sir. Well, as I was saying, no, I don't hate that girl, Diana. I'd help her if I could.
She is a warped criminal.
But is that permanent, sir? Can't she be brought in and straightened out somehow?
There is psychological rehabilitation for criminals, yes.
Well, you mean if she could only be caught and brought in, she could be turned into a useful citizen?
If she could be found in a city this large, it is not always possible to track criminals.
Well, I'd like to try to find her, sir. I mean, that's my vocational plans. I'd like to become a policeman, sir.
You will have to face psychological testing first, of course, and a training period of 6 months. But let us warn you, Roy Bartlett, if your motive in this is one of revenge, you will not survive the first battery of tests.
Revenge? Oh, no, not revenge, sir. I want to help that girl. And the others like her. Honest, that's what I want to do.
This will be demonstrated in the tests.
Do you think I'll make the grade, sir?
The tests will answer that.
But I mean, you computers can figure probabilities. Can't you tell me if...
You are most unusual, Roy Bartlett, but the probability favors your success. You will be taken to the testing center immediately. And if you are approved, you will go to the training camp.
Oh, thanks, sir. Thanks for listening to me. Will you wish me good luck?
Our data banks do not show the validity of such a wish, Roy Bartlett. But if your statements today were sincere, you should have no difficulty attaining your goal. The robot will show you to the testing center.
Of course, a computer can talk about revenge. That's a word that can be put in its vocabulary. But it couldn't understand what revenge meant. It couldn't understand human feelings of any kind. For that, human beings are necessary. For that, Roy had to be passed along to human beings who could teach him, could understand him, could help him understand himself, and find what his life work should be.
Mind if I sit down here, miss? You seem to be alone.
I am alone. Glad to have some company. Sit down, stranger.
Thanks. Thanks very much. You waiting for someone?
Yeah, I was. I don't think he's going to show up. You must know how that sort of thing is. When someone you're counting on doesn't show.
Yeah. Yes, I know what that's like, Diana. And I've been looking for you almost a year.
You know my name. Who are you?
You mean you've forgotten me, Diana? I suppose you would have. The pitiful greenhorn you picked up last March?
The Montana fella.
That's right. Roy Bartlett. You taught me how to drink a martini, remember, in this very place. And then you taught me what it was like to be robbed by someone you trusted.
I'm getting out of here. You can't keep me here.
You'll leave when I want you to leave, Diana, not before. Sit still. Don't make a fuss.
Let go of my arm. You're hurting me.
Just sit and try to look relaxed. Don't attract attention.
You can't prove anything. Leave me alone. I'll call a cop.
Go ahead, Diana. Call one. Now, look.
That badge. Oh, no.
That's right. I found a job in the big city, Diana. 6 months of training and the breaking-in period. I don't happen to be wearing my uniform now, but the badge is real.
What are you going to do with me?
Take you away, Diana, to Psych Center, where they can help you straighten up and grow the way God meant you to. You know, girl, you really did help me, and it really was worth the $5,000 you took from me. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and you showed me how to get the kind of job I wanted.
What are you talking about?
You never done any farming, have you, Diana? Probably don't realize what a farmer's job is. Well, it's making things grow strong and right the way they were meant to. But I guess I'd got sort of tired of working just with plants.
No. They'll kill me. They'll make me into something I hate, and something that'll hate me. It won't be me. I'll be a zombie or something.
I suppose it does seem that way. You never tried it the other way, though, have you? Without hate and bitterness driving you.
You mean tried being dead? No, I haven't.
No, I mean stop running and start doing what you want for yourself instead of what you think you want to do to somebody else. Now, look. We need Mike, too, your accomplice. He's outside, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's walk out together. Act natural. That's right. Just walk along with me as if I'm a rube you picked up and you're taking me down the block to that dark alleyway.
Yeah.
Where's Mike? Is he right behind us?
He ought to be. Mike, get him! He's a cop!
That stun gun blast ought to keep him on ice for a couple of hours. Long enough to get him down to headquarters, anyway.
I hate you. Why'd this have to happen? Why couldn't you left me alone?
I wanted to help you.
Help me? By turning me in like this behind me over the head shrinker.
They'll heal you, Diane. Take all the bitter hatred out of your mind. Make you a useful citizen.
Who wants to be a useful citizen? I had a good thing here until you busted it up. Now they'll fix me so I'll have to go straight be a good girl. Sew buttons on shirts for 30 credits a week.
There are good jobs open for rehabilitated criminals. Nobody will hold your past against you.
Good job. I'll never be able to go near my old friends. I'll have to begin life all over as somebody new.
That's right. And I'll be there to help you start all over.
You?
Sure. I'll be there to help you. I told you I owe you that. Come along now. Let's go down to headquarters.
Some people like to work with material things, and some can't see beyond it. When they can't see beyond material things, they're like Diane. Some people like to work with information, bits of data. Accountants, lawyers, many people work with data and information. So do computers. But some go beyond that and want to work with human beings. Now, some lawyers are not merely information handlers. They're human handlers. I guess Roy was one of those who wanted to go beyond the material and even the low-living things. He wanted to work with humans. You see, Diane did do him a favor, and he did owe her a favor. She'd shown him what his real-life work should be.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. As you remember, the Grayson submarine, newest and most powerful of the Navy's undersea craft, fell into the hands of a band of foreign agents led by a Dr. Deutsch. As a result of stumbling on Deutsch's hideout, Lois Lane, star girl reporter of the Daily Planet, and her editor, Perry White, have been taken aboard the submarine as hostages. At the moment, the sleek steel craft, submerged to avoid detection, slips through the sea bound for a foreign port. Its captain, designer, and crew unwillingly doing the bidding of Dr. Deutsch and his henchmen. We join Walter Grayson, Captain Denning, and Deutsch in the control room of the submarine.
I must compliment you, Herr Grayson. You have developed a fighting machine beyond all belief. With this type of submarine, one country can rule the world. Congratulations.
Haven't you already done enough? Not to rub salt in the wounds, or is that just part of your fiendish nature?
I forgive you addressing me in that way only because I realize you are not yourself at the moment, Herr Grayson. But believe me, men have gone to their death for less.
I don't doubt it for a moment.
Captain Denning, you have been strangely silent. Surely you, a naval officer, must be accustomed to things like this. Simply one of the chances of war.
This isn't war. This is dirty, sneaking espionage. This is typical of men without a sense of decency.
Again, I forgive you. But don't go too far. You may drive me to the end of my patience. I told you that no harm will come to anyone on board. We are interested only in the submarine. I have given you my promise that you will simply be held until the war is over.
What do the promises of you and your kind amount to? They've been broken before.
I have heard enough. Hold your tongues, both of you. Doctor, come on. Very fine ship. Lieutenant in Kriegship sign. Let me see in periscope. You are right. I see the lights of a ship off our port bow. You know what might be very interesting, Captain Denning?
I'm sure that anything that might be interesting to you would not be interesting to me.
You are quite right. But I was thinking as I watched the lights of that ship, The torpedo mechanism of this marvelous submarine has not yet been tested, has it?
No! No, in heaven's name, no!
You are pale as a ghost, Herr Grayson.
Then do you know what he means? Do you know what he's planning?
Yes, I know. As you say in English, you are way ahead of me.
Wait, you can't be that much of a beast. It's impossible.
What are you talking about?
Both Mr. Grayson and I know what you have in mind. You're thinking of trying a torpedo out on that ship.
Strange how you read my thoughts. So, you have objections?
Even animals don't kill for the sheer joy of killing. That ship may be a passenger vessel or a fishing trawler.
It may be a warship, too.
It's doing you no harm.
This is war. In war, you do not wait for the enemy to do you harm. You guard against that by doing him harm first. And I rather like the idea of testing the torpedo.
I would have cut my arms off or blown out my brains if I had known that this submarine would ever be used for such a purpose.
You are hysterical, Herr Grayson.
No, he isn't. He's acting as any normal human being would act under the circumstances. He realizes, as I do, that war is the most inhuman of man's creation.
A very pretty speech, Captain Denny, but very impractical. I'm afraid you will have to stand by and watch me indulge in a little target practice. Fortunately, I have men on board who are experienced torpedo gunners. In this case, I will not require your crew. And you will tell Custis in the torpedo room that we will attempt to sink the ship. I will give the order when we are ready. It's very interesting to watch a ship through a periscope, knowing that you are safe because you cannot be seen. Very interesting. You wish to look at it, Captain?
No, thank you.
You're approaching it broadside. A good position, isn't it? But I can tell it seems like a small ship. One torpedo should probably finish it.
Stand back, Grace! Stand back, or I'll shoot you, fiend!
You've killed him.
What did you expect? It was my life. His. He had murder in his eyes. He had gone mad.
You drove him to madness. I don't suppose that's anything new to you either.
Watch yourself, Captain. I am in no humor to be toyed with now. Drag him off to one side.
Drag him yourself. You killed him. Did you hear me? I said...
Choose my temper, or it will go hard with you all. Stand back. I will get rid of him. Make certain, Captain, you do not follow him.
I was just thinking, Deutsch, how lucky Grayson is. It's all over for him. He doesn't have to look at your piggish eyes any longer. He doesn't have to breathe the same air you breathe.
Go on. I know what you are trying to do, but it is all wasted on me. Well, we will have another look through the periscope. And don't try the same thing Herr Grayson tried, Captain. This time I will use the butt of the gun. And all you will have for your pains is a headache. We are almost in position. It is a bigger ship than I imagined. I wonder how they are getting along in the torpedo room. We'll find out. And get for it. Yeah. Yeah, good. All is ready, Captain. You know, there is something exciting about this. Something that makes your heart race and the blood pound in your veins. It's always that way when you play a game with the stakes of death.
Unfortunately, all your games are one-sided. The cards are stacked.
You learn, Captain, that is the only sure way of winning. I think the time has come. See here on the control panel a button marked torpedo fire stern tube. That evidence is the one I pressed.
Deutsch, listen to me for the last time. Have mercy. You've already killed one man in cold blood. Isn't it enough?
You may have all the mercy, Captain. I shall have the victory. Wait. Seems to be another button to press. What does it say? 30 seconds warning bell. Torpedo fire. I see. That I pressed first. Now the time.
But even as the alarm bell echoes through the submarine, a red-cloaked figure flying high above the jagged coastline stops in midair as his keen eyes discern a car parked at a dead-end road. Like a streak of light, he dives to the ground, landing beside the parked car.
I thought so. Mr. White's car. That means he and Lois must be in that old house up on the cliff. It won't take long to find out. Place looks deserted. What on earth made them stop here? Well, we'll just rip some of these boards off this window and see what's what. There. Now up over the sill and inside. There. Black as pitch. Hardly seems like the kind of a place Lois and Mr. White would go out of their way to find, unless... Wait. Someone moaning? Either that or an animal. I think I'd better investigate. See what's behind this door. Locked. We'll fix that. What? There's a man stretched out on the bed. Bound and gagged. All right, just a second, mister. We'll have you out of this. There, that's better.
I thought I'd never get free.
Who tied you up?
Turn on the light.
Never mind the light. Who tied you up?
It's a long story. I'm the caretaker for this property here.
Yes.
I live up the road a piece. A couple of weeks ago, a man came and wanted to rent it.
Well?
I didn't like his looks. The house had been empty for 3 years, so I let him have it.
Yes, go on.
Well, some people moved in and big trucks drove around the back, but they never took the boarding off the windows. I got suspicious and sort of moseyed around night before last. They caught me and put me in here. I couldn't move. I could hear everything. They've got a submarine.
What?
Yes. An American submarine. I don't know how they got it, but they sailed away in it across the ocean.
When did they leave?
Just a couple of hours ago.
Do you know whether a young woman and an elderly man are with them on the submarine?
Yes. Newspaper folks.
That's right.
I heard them talking about it.
And you say they left a couple of hours ago and are headed out to sea?
Yes. They must have forgot about me in the rush.
You're sure the young lady, Miss Lane, and the elderly gentleman were taken along?
I'm sure enough of that. I heard them talking. The man's name was Wright, wasn't it?
White. Terry White.
That's it. I heard him say that he was the editor of a paper. Why don't you turn the light on, mister?
I haven't time now. I've got to go. You'll be all right now, won't you?
Yes, thanks to you.
Then goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks again.
So they're heading out to sea in the Grayson sub with Lois and Mr. White aboard. I've got to stop them if it's the last thing I do. The 2-hour head start won't bother me, but I wish I knew the direction they took. The Atlantic is a big ocean. Well, no sense guessing about it. Here's the window I came in. I'll find that submarine somehow. Up, and away!
Making use of his amazing ability to leap great distances and fly through the air, Superman streaks out to sea in search of the kidnapped submarine. But even he is unaware that Dr. Deutsch is about to test the torpedo mechanism of the new submarine by murderously blasting a ship out of the water. Only a few seconds remain. What will happen? Listen to the next episode for a startling climax.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane.
It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice.
And now to our story. When we last saw Superman, he was streaking out to sea, making use of his amazing power of flight to find the Grayson submarine, stolen by a group of foreign agents and being sailed to a foreign port. On board the underseas craft, in addition to its captain and American crew, are Lois Lane and Terry White, editor of the Daily Planet. At the moment, Dr. Deutsch, head of the espionage gang, has submerged the submarine and is about to fire a torpedo at a passing ship, just to test the submarine's firing mechanism. In the control compartment, he holds Captain Denning at gunpoint while the torpedo-firing alarm bell rings through the steel hull.
Now that the alarm is sounded, all I must do is press this button. The one which says torpedo fire, stern tube. That ship will sink like a punctured balloon.
For the love of mercy, Deutsch, don't do it. There are innocent people aboard that ship. People who have done you no harm whatsoever.
We are wasting time. I will press the button. Deutsch! Too late! It's done. Now.
Finding like a banshee, 2,000 pounds of sudden death catapult from the stern of the submarine and cuts through the water in the direction of the doomed ship, white foam bubbling in its wake. In the all-enveloping darkness, human vision is unable to follow the path of the death-dealing torpedo. But high above the rolling ocean, the eyes of Superman can see the line of white foam trailing the steel fish. For a moment, he hangs in midair, and then, realizing that the torpedo is aimed at the ship moving slowly through the night, Superman dives with the speed of light, landing in the water between the torpedo and its target.
Here she comes, and plenty fast, too. It's big enough to blow that ship in half, but not big enough to... I've got you. Now to turn you upside down and send you to the bottom of the sea. So long. That torpedo must have come from the Grayson sub. No other would fire at an American ship in these waters. You could probably pick it up better from above. No, wait. I can see its periscope dead ahead of me, heading east. I'd better follow it in the air until it comes to the surface. Up, up, and away!
I am afraid, Captain Denning, that we missed the ship and wasted a torpedo. Too bad.
Either that, or the kindly providence protects decent human beings from madmen like yourself.
I have already told you, Captain, that you are wasting your breath trying to insult me. At least until the submarine lies at anchor at some port in my own country. Then, if you dare open your mouth, you will suffer for it. And order the submarine brought to the surface and proceed at full speed. And bring Kessler here to take the captain to his quarters. One of my men will be here in a moment. Remember, Captain, I have only a small group of assistants on board, but each of them is well trained. Do not attempt anything for which you might be sorry. How's it? Quick, Kessler.
Yeah?
You will show Captain Denning to his quarters and remain on guard outside. If he attempts anything you do not consider proper in a prisoner, you are not to kill him. Just render him helpless temporarily. You understand?
Yeah, Professor.
Good night, Captain Denning. Hans, you will remain here. The good captain is not in the best of humor.
Kein Wunder, Herr Doktor.
Speak English, Hans. You ought to be of help to me in the future. You must speak English well.
Ja, Herr Doktor. It's too bad that he missed the torpedo, eh?
But not serious. We have this submarine. That is the most important thing. Are we on the surface yet?
Yeah.
Open the conning tower hatch. You will go on deck for a breath of fresh air. Up the ladder, Hans. I will follow you. The air feels good, eh, Hans?
Ja, Doktor.
All the nights are like this, with the sea smooth. We will be home in 6 days.
Ja, in 6 days.
Imagine Hans stealing a submarine right from under his very noses. Why, it's unheard of.
Herr Doktor.
What is it?
I heard a strange wind.
There's always wind on the sea. Just think of it, Hans. There will be headlines in the newspapers, and they will decorate...
Listen, Doctor. I hear it again.
Oh, you hear wind. Well, what of it?
What was that?
The submarine rolls. Maybe the hatch is not fastened. It's not. Why are you so nervous, Hans?
I will be nervous until we are across the ocean.
What can happen now? You think these Americans are smart enough to realize what we have done? No. They are stupid.
Are they?
Who's there?
A stupid American.
Hans, where is he? I can't see.
Dead! Get your hands! That gun won't do you any good, my friend. Might as well toss it overboard.
Put your hands up.
Don't make me laugh.
Put them up or I shoot.
Go ahead. See how those bullets bounced off my chest? Well, that's how you're going to bounce right now. So, Americans are stupid, are they? Now, I'll just knock your thick skulls together for good measure. Well, boys can't take it very well. Both are cold. Well, down the hatch, one at a time. There we are. And I think I'd better follow you and have a look around. This must be the control compartment. All these dials, gauges here. Well, now to find Captain Denning. I'll try this steel door, see what it leads. It's like a corridor, a companionway. Wait. There's a man sitting outside a closed door. He's not in uniform, so he must be one of a gang. It's a good thing that light over his head is yellow and feeble. I'll sneak up behind him. Good evening.
Who are you?
Here's my calling card. That's that. He was probably guarding someone in this compartment. I think it's time to get rid of this cape and costume and become Clark Kent. Yeah, that's better. I haven't used Kent's high voice in so long it sounds strange. Now, let's see who's in here.
What do you want?
Captain Denning?
Yes?
Hello, Captain Denning.
Now what?
Oh, I'm not one of the gang, Captain. My name is Clark Kent. I'm a reporter on the Daily Planet.
Reporter?
I know it must sound strange, but it's true. Here's my police card.
But how did you get on board? We've been at sea for hours.
Well, I've been trailing this gang of agents. I tracked them down to their hideout, an old house on a cliff. And when they brought this submarine into a hidden cove near the house, I knew something was wrong, so I sneaked on board. I've been lying low ever since.
It's amazing. How did you get by the gorilla on guard?
Oh, a lucky punch fixed him. The same goes for the two who are on deck. They're sleeping peacefully in the control room.
You mean Dr. Deutsch and Hans?
Yes, Hans is one of them. The other is heavy set with a bristling mustache.
Yes, that's Dr. Deutsch. He's head of the gang.
Oh.
Kent, we've got to work fast. What you say is true. We can regain control of the submarine. With Deutsch, Hans, and Kessler out of commission, there are only 4 of the gang left. They locked most of my crew in the stern compartment. Those that are free are operating the submarine at gunpoint. I have 2 revolvers hidden in my locker here. I've been saving them for just such an opportunity. Here you are. Now follow me.
Just a minute, Captain. Before we get mixed up in anything, I'd like to know the whereabouts of 2 friends of mine who are being held on board. Miss Lane and Mr. White?
Oh, they're locked in the stern with my crew. We'll free them later.
Oh, good.
Kent, you've certainly flattened this bird on the floor. If Deutsch and Hans got the same treatment, they won't be on their feet for a long time. Come on down this passageway. 2 of the gang are in the engine room and 2 more in the diving control compartment. We'll tackle the engine room first. Quiet now. Right up ahead. You swing the door open and I'll cover it. Here we go. Go ahead. Open it.
Drop those guns and don't move. Kent, look out! They're looking for a fight, Captain. Let's go. How's this?
Kent, you knocked both of them out. Good heavens, man. How'd you dare wade through that hail of bullets? Were you hit?
Oh, not a scratch. Let's get the other 2.
Well, my men here can handle them. Take the guns, boys, and let them have it. They get tough. First thing we've got to do, Kent, is radio the naval base and tell them we're on our way back at full speed. This is the happiest moment of my life, and I can thank you for it. We're going back, Kent, with the ship intact. We're going back at full speed.
All right, Captain. Just one more shot, Commander Lee. You and Mr. Kent. That's it. Hold it. Thank you.
Kent, I can't begin to tell you how much the Navy appreciates what you've done.
Oh, it was nothing, Commander Lee. Nothing but good fortune.
And a right hook that would make a monkey out of Joe Louis.
Well, it's all over now. We've got the submarine and the gang. Captain Denning, where is this man Deutsch?
Well, he and his first assistant Hans are being brought to the detention building by one of our men, Commander.
I think I'd better join Lois and Mr. White, Commander. They're having some coffee.
Commander Lee! Commander Lee! Commander Lee!
What is it?
Those 2 spies. They escaped.
Escape? You mean Deutsch and Hans?
Yes, they got away. They're gone.
Well, it looks as though Commander Lee was a little hasty when he said it was all over. With Dr. Deutsch at liberty, it isn't all over by a long shot. Someone is bound to suffer at the criminal hands of the murderous foreign agent. Deutsch is out for revenge, and the object of his revenge are Lois, White, and Kent. What will happen? And where will he strike first?
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
A bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Roaring rockets blast off the distant planets and far-flung stars. We take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Roaring out of the blackness of the void and circling the planet Mars, the rocket cruiser Polaris completes the first half of a training flight which will prove conclusively whether Astro is a victim of space fever, the most dreaded disease of all spacemen, a disease that will ground the man forever, keep him from ever flying a rocket ship again. Now, as the spaceship is secured on the landing ramp at Marsport, Captain Strong calls his crew to the control deck.
All right, cadets, you can have 4 hours liberty. It'll take the maintenance crew at least that long to repair the Polaris.
Liberty? Oh, brother, just what I was hoping for.
But only 4 hours, Cadet Manning, not a second longer.
Aye, aye, Captain Strong.
You boys can blast off any time you wish. I'll stay on the ship with the maintenance crew.
4 hours. That's a lifetime. Here's where the Martian dolls get a break. How do I look, Tom? Repulsive, as usual. I like you, too, Junior. See you later.
Hey, Manning, you mind if I come with you?
Sure, Harvey. You can watch the master operate.
Okay. So long, Tom. I'll be seeing you.
So long, Harvey. You know, Astro, that Harvey isn't a bad guy at all. He was right on the ball when the fire broke out.
Yeah, sure. A real hot shot.
Well, don't take it out on him, Astro. He had nothing to do with replacing you in the unit. Say, have you any plans for this liberty?
Why, Tom? Has Captain Strong told you to keep an eye on me?
Say, what's eating you? You're acting like a spoiled kid. I'm on your side, Astro, remember?
Thanks. But if you don't mind, I'll work things out in my own way. And I don't need any help from you, nursemaid.
Hey, you guys, better step on it. Captain Strong's almost ready to blast off. Get into your fatigue. Okay, don't rush me, Tom. There's plenty of time. Enjoy your liberty, Harvey.
Oh, I sure did.
Hey, what about Astro? You fellas see anything of him?
No, not me, Tom.
Me either. I hope he's all right. Be great if he misses blast off. That'll be his finish.
You'd kind of like that, wouldn't you, Manning?
Huh? Astro, I was getting worried about you.
Why don't you mind your own business? I'm doing all right by myself.
Attention all hands. The repairs to the Polaris are completed. We raise ship in 5 minutes. Take your stations.
Jupiter, I better hurry. Astro, you better get into your fatigue. You haven't got much time.
That can wait. I'm going up to the control deck. There are a few things I want to straighten out with Captain Strong.
Huh. I wonder what he's up to now. I don't know. But that 4-hour liberty didn't seem to help his disposition any.
Captain Strong?
Huh? Oh, Astro. What are you doing here? You'd better get topside. We raise ship in 5 minutes.
And I'm still a passenger.
I'm afraid so, Astro.
But I came through the last trip without any trouble. Why can't I join the crew now?
Sorry. Your test period isn't over yet.
How long is this test period? Forever?
Now, listen, Astro. I'm getting a little tired of your belligerent attitude. When I think you're ready for duty, I'll let you know. Now, will you please stop bothering me?
Very well, sir. Then I guess this is as good a time as any to let you know. As soon as we get back to Earth, I'm resigning from Space Academy.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Spaceman, if you want to talk about rocket ship power, then the man to talk to is somebody like Tom Corbett.
He knows plenty about those rocket ship burners. Why, just the other day, he was...
And then to turn the ship, you set the steering vanes inside the rocket tubes and just give the steering rockets a little old blast. Just like that. You know, the cadets need energy, just like a rocket ship does. That's why we help ourselves to plenty of Kellogg's Pep at breakfast time. Then, when we have to turn out for action afterwards, we've got a supply of food energy to call on. Pep gives you the kind of food values a spaceman needs to build strong bones, strong muscle, and healthy teeth. So if you spacemen out there are thinking of joining up at the Academy someday, why, I'd sure suggest that you start eating plenty of Kellogg's Pep, starting tomorrow morning.
That's right, Tom. For build-up food values, and don't forget that swell flavor, too. The cereal you want is Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Returning to the Polaris after 4 hours' liberty on the planet Mars, Astro has made an important decision. Now, as the powerful rocket ship is prepared for a blast-off, he reports to the control deck to inform Captain Strong.
That's what I said, sir. As soon as we return to Earth, I'm resigning from Space Academy.
Resigning? Now, wait, Astro. Why don't you think about this a little more?
Well, during the past couple of days, sir, I've thought of nothing else.
I see.
We're ready to blast off, sir. Cadet Harvey's standing by on the power deck. I'll have the radar bridge warmed up and 2 shakes of the SpaceBug's antenna, sir.
Oh, very well, cadets, but before you take your stations, I think I'd better tell you that your shipmate, Astro, intends to resign from the Academy.
Astro, you're kidding. This is nothing to kid about, Tom.
Wow, now I've heard everything. Mr. Space Academy himself, the guy who waves a flag at me every time I open my mouth about the Academy. Now he's quitting.
That's enough, Manning. One more crack out of you, and you'll make this trip in the brig. Now take your station.
Aye, aye, sir.
Astro, we won't discuss this anymore right now. You better go to your bunk and secure yourself for blastoff.
Look, sir.
Yes?
I don't want you to think that I'm a... Well, never mind, sir.
All right. Strap in, Tom.
He's just rattled, Captain Strong. He's been taking a beating ever since the day he blacked out. He didn't really mean what he said.
I think he did, Tom. Well, there's no time to discuss it now. Attention, crew. Prepare to raise ship. Power deck, check in. Full report.
Power deck, aye. Rocket head temperature's normal. Holding standard space speed.
Radar bridge, check in.
Radar bridge, aye. Have cleared Mars orbit, level 3. Just in time, sir. There's quite a storm down there.
Are we on orbit to Earth?
Dead on, sir.
Very well. You come down and relieve Corbett at the controls.
See?
This is still a training flight, Manning. Get down here.
Aye, aye, sir.
Now, Tom.
Sir?
You take over on the radar bridge. You can use the astrogation experience.
Glad of the chance, sir.
I'll go below and see how Harvey handles himself. Tom, if Astro leaves his bunk, send him down to me, will you?
Are you going to talk to him, sir?
I'll try my best. See you later.
Okay, Junior, you're relieved. Let a real space pilot take over.
Okay, hotshot. I'm handling the radar bridge.
Radar bridge? How about going to see your pal, Astro? You can hold his hand.
Why don't you lay off him, Roger? Do you have to needle him every time you see him?
What's the matter? Can he take it?
He's taken enough, and too much from you.
All right, go on. Blast off.
You just keep your jets plugged.
Yeah. Everybody's getting so blasted sensitive around here.
Hey, Manny, where's Captain Strong?
Why, Mr. Astro, isn't your cabin comfortable? What are you doing here? Maybe you'd like the royal suite.
I asked you where Captain Strong is.
He went below. You must have just missed him.
Thanks.
What do you want him for, anyway? To cry on his shoulder?
I'll write you a letter.
Yeah? You know how to spell the word quitter?
Well, you crummy little spaceworm.
Careful, Astro. You're liable to black out again. But this time, it won't be from space fever.
I'll give you space fever, you...
Astro, panic! Break it up. Break it up, I said.
Sorry, sir. I started.
I don't care who started it. I won't tolerate fighting on my ship. Manning, I'm logging you for this. And as for you, Astro, if you don't take that chip off your shoulder, you'll be confined to quarters for the rest of the trip.
Yes, sir.
Pick up that intercom, Manning.
Yes, sir. Control deck, go ahead.
Roger, this is Tom. I've been taking readings of the sun with the infrared octant. And something funny is happening out there. I found a sunspot that must be at least 300,000 miles in diameter.
300,000 miles? You're space happy, Tom.
Maybe I am. I'm not the astrogator you are, but my figures aren't that far off. Not only that, but the spot seems to be growing bigger all the time.
You'd better get up there and check that, Manning.
Okay, sir, but Corbett must be seeing spots in front of his eyes.
I hope so, because if he's right, we're running into serious trouble.
Corbet's figures checked. Also, I've just received communication from Space Academy that the sunspot is sending shockwaves through the solar system. We're in for a space storm.
Attention all hands. Now hear this. We're on our way back to Marsport. Break out your spacesuits and magnetic traction boots and have them near you at all times. I want you to be prepared for any emergency.
Our gyro stabilizer's out.
Hang on. I'll try to control the ship manually. Oh, there. Yeah, that's better. Anyone hurt?
Okay, here, sir.
No damage topside, sir.
Harvey, are you all right?
Just a couple of bumps. That's all, sir.
Now listen, everybody. Our automatic pilot is out. We'll have to operate this ship manually. If the sunspots don't give us any further trouble, we'll manage.
I'll cut her down to half space speed, sir. We may ride easier that way.
It's a good idea, Tom. I'm going below to check the power plant. And tell Astro to come down to the control deck. He'll be safer here.
Aye, aye, sir. Astro, check in. Astro, come in.
What are you blasting your jets about, Tom?
Oh, Astro, I was just trying to get a hold of you. Captain Strong wants you to stay down here.
Okay, so I'm here. Listen, Roger called me a quitter. Do you think I'm a quitter?
Of course not. But why do you want to resign from the academy?
Can't you see what it'd be like if I were grounded? Me nailed to a desk, lorded over by guys like Manning? Tom, I'm a spaceman.
Aren't you a little ahead of yourself, Astro? No one said you had space fever.
Oh, I'm no fool. I can see which way the wind is blowing. Look at this setup. We're in trouble. If the power plant goes before we can get back to Mars, we'll be helpless. But Captain Strong won't even let me get near it. I'm a passenger, just so much dead weight.
Control deck, go ahead.
We're in landing orbit to Marsport, Junior. Get ready.
Okay, Roger. I'll get the skipper up. Control deck to power deck.
Power deck aye. Captain Strong here.
We're approaching Marsport, sir. Ready to land.
Okay, I'll be right up. Okay, wait a minute. The lights are flickering.
And here, too, sir.
Well, I better stay down here. This power plant may go any minute.
Give me that intercom, Tom. Captain Strong, this is Astro. I can help Harvey on the power deck if you want me to.
No, Astro, stay where you are.
Very well.
Corbett, can you handle the landing yourself?
I'm sure I can, sir.
Right, and don't spare the neutrons. We want to get down in a hurry.
Hey, Roger, come in. Give me our heading to...
Hold it a minute, Tom. I was just going to call you. Take a look through the viewport toward Ursa Minor. Get a load of what's coming at us.
Great galaxy. It looks like a space cyclone.
Cyclone in space? You're off your orbit, Tom.
It must be, Astro. That sunspot probably tore some solar atmosphere away. We've got to land before that cyclone hits us and blows us clear out of the universe.
Attention, crew. I'm firing those rockets to start our descent, and I'm not braking the ship until we get to 10,000 feet. Corbett, it's up to you to hold us left.
Aye, aye, sir.
Stand by. We're going in.
Astro, sit here and give me altitude readings.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, right, Tom. Down to 150,000 feet. Look at that cyclone come on.
I don't see how it can miss us.
It isn't going to, fellas. Brace yourselves.
Wow, this is fierce. Are we dropping at all, Astro?
We're at 100,000 feet, but we're being blown way off course.
Roger, what's our position?
The only thing I can tell you is we're still over Mars, but who knows where?
75,000 feet. How in blazes can you hold the ship steady, Tom?
Believe me, Astro, it isn't easy. Take that, will you?
Right. Control deck aye.
Hello, Corbett.
Well, this is Astro, sir.
Astro, what are you doing there?
Tom needed help.
Oh, well, all right. Tell him our power is like this. Just pray it'll last until we land. If our power goes and we can't fire our braking rocket...
Got it, sir. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
20,000 feet.
Hang on, Astro. Captain Strong, prepare to blast braking rockets.
15,000 feet. 14. 13. 12. 11.
Blast braking rockets full.
Braking rockets full. Start praying, boys.
I don't know where we're landing, sir. We can't see a thing.
It's too late to worry about that. Just hope we land right side up and on some solid ground.
Down to 1,000 feet. We aren't slowing up enough.
Attention, all stations. Brace for crash landing. Brace for crash landing.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment, so stand by. Spaceman, do you have a complete collection of magic moving picture eyes? You know, you can get 16 different magic eyes altogether, each one jam-packed with exciting action. Say, if you get two of a kind, you can always trade them with your friends for the ones you don't have. Look for the magic eye that shows you Clyde Beatty, the famous animal trainer. And there's another magic eye with an action picture of a Douglas jet plane. Yes, get all 16 magic eyes. They make swell decorations for belts, hats, and jackets. And remember, you don't mail in for them. You don't even have to wait for them. You get a Magic Eye free at no extra cost in every package of Kellogg's Pep. That's just about the best bargain you ever had a chance at. A delicious whole wheat cereal with a tempting multi-rich flavor and a Magic Eye besides. Start your collection today. Get Magic Eye pictures of trains, planes, movie stars, and sports stars. You'll see them all on a Magic Eye. And just remember, you get another Magic Eye free at no extra cost in every package of Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. When a gigantic sunspot sends powerful shock waves throughout the solar system, the rocket cruiser Polaris is caught in a space cyclone. Returning to Mars with its power plant failing fast and visibility zero, the spaceship crash lands somewhere on the surface of the red planet.
Astro, you're right. I think so, Tom. At least I seem to be able to move everything.
Well, we've landed anyway, and we're still alive. Better see how the others made out.
Hey, the intercom is out.
I'm not surprised. Roger! Roger, are you all right?
Sure, no thanks to you. I'll bet Harvey could have landed this freight better.
Well, it's easy to see you're all right.
Roger.
What are you so excited about, Harvey?
Captain Strong is hurt. He's pinned down by one of the reaction tanks, and I can't move it.
Well, come on, let's get down there.
All right, fellas. Together now. Lift that.
Captain Strong's unconscious. He needs medical care, and in a hurry.
Where are we, anyway? I'll go get a medic.
That's going to be real easy. We've landed smack in the middle of the Martian desert. Well, here's the bad news, fellas. It'll take hours to get our communication system working. Not only that, our hull is sprung. We've lost our reaction mass, and we're completely without power. That's great. We're nothing but a dead piece of space junk in the middle of the Martian desert. If we only knew where those Martian oxygen booster plants are located in this desert, we could get help. Yeah, but where are you going to look?
I'll go out and try to find one.
Well, thanks, Harvey. I'm afraid we'll all have to go and try it in different directions.
What about Captain Strong?
Astro will have to stay here with him.
Why me, Tom?
Well, that's the way Captain Strong would have wanted it. Besides, Astro, this is a big responsibility.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let's get out of there, fellas. And keep your communicators open.
Don't worry, Astro, my boy. Even with space fever, you can always be a nurse.
Hello, Harvey. Check in. Any luck?
No, not a bit, Tom. There isn't a sign of anything but sand as far as I can see.
All right, keep looking. How about you, Roger? What have you to report?
What have I to report? I've swallowed about 2 tons of sand. I feel like a tropical beach.
Cut it, Raj. Any sign of help?
No, and if you ask me, this is the most space-happy thing we've done yet.
No one's asking you. Keep looking. Astro, come in. How's the skipper?
No change. He's in pretty bad shape.
Well, do what you can for him, Astro. We're going to move farther out into the desert.
Tom. Hey, Corbett, come in.
Yeah. What is it, Harvey?
This wind is too much for me. I can't see a thing.
I know, Harvey. I'm having the same trouble. How are you doing, Roger?
I'm on beat. This wind's blowing like 60, and it's hot as a furnace. Besides, I can't see. The sand's worse than the fog.
All right, I guess there's no use continuing now. We'll have to go back to the ship until this sandstorm blows over.
No sign of Roger, Tom. Astro and I have been watching for him at the airlock. Doesn't even answer us on the communicator.
Blast it. He's had more than enough time to get back to the Polaris.
I want me to go out and look for him?
No, you'll never find him in that sandstorm, Harvey. You'll only get lost yourself. Just stay with Astro at the entrance port and keep trying to contact him.
All right, Tom. Hey, how about Captain Strong? Will you stick with him?
Yes, he seems to be a little better now. Maybe he'll come out of it soon.
Oh, I hope so. Hey, what in blazes? Tom, Astro's disappeared.
What?
He isn't here. He must have gone out to look for Roger.
Why, the space-happy idiot. He'll never find Roger. And we'll be lucky if we ever find him.
no use. Isn't even a footprint. Sand has covered everything.
They must be out here somewhere, Harvey. They couldn't have gotten very far. I'm going to keep looking until I find them.
Stick with you, Tom.
Well, come on. Spread out a little more.
Sand is hot.
Yeah.
It's a tough walking up and down these dunes.
Yeah, it sure is. When I think of...
Tom, be careful. Hurt yourself?
No, I just stepped in a soft spot and Hey, Harvey, come over here, quick. I found them. I found them! Captain Strong, it was sheer luck that I tripped over them. They were covered by at least a foot of sand.
You were no luckier than I was to find Roger, Tom.
I guess I was the luckiest. I don't even remember what happened. I was trying to get back to the Polaris, and it was like bucking a wall of wind and sand. The next thing I knew, this Venusian ape was bending over me, and I thought I was having a nightmare.
Well, all I can say, Astro, for a fellow who's supposed to have space fever, you showed tremendous presence of mind and quick action. If it weren't for those oxygen masks and that cover, neither of you would be here now.
I've got the radio working, Captain Strong. I've contacted the oxygen booster station near here. They're sending over a first aid crew.
Thank you, Harvey. Well, we'll be getting back to Marsport soon, and then home to Space Academy.
Captain Strong, while I was under that blanket of sand with the wind howling over us and not knowing if I'd ever leave this Martian desert, I had plenty of time to think things over.
Yes, Astro?
Well, I've made up my mind that no matter what the doctors decide, I'll stay at the Academy.
Even if it means becoming an earthworm and flying at desk?
Yes, sir. Even that.
Well, after what you went through today, I'm pretty sure your examinations will prove that you never had space fever.
And, Astro.
Yeah, Roger?
I'm not good at saying these things, but... Oh, blast it, I'm sorry.
Oh, skip it, Raj.
Say, Astro, how did you find Roger, anyhow?
It was a cinch, Harvey. While I was wandering around on the desert, all of a sudden there was so much wind and hot air around me, I knew he had to be near.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when a nearly fatal explosion sends the crew of the Polaris rocketing through the void in search of a missing ship in the strange mystery of the Asteroid of Danger. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, Al Markham, Edward Bryce, and Jack Grimes. Today's program was written by Jack Weinstock and Willie Gilbert, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins, along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal, all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's, because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from New York. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting.
You, finding life pretty dull? You, dreaming again of exotic places, wishing you were somewhere else? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Escape with us now to a ship on the high seas and a cargo of mutinous criminals, as Weston Martyr tells it in his gripping story, A Sleeping Draught.
That helps. But it's like I say, you can't forget. You can never forget. It's at night that you think about it, with the water outside rushing past the hull. That's when you think, and it can never be the same. You can't trust anybody. Never. Not a soul. I can tell you, you just can't trust them. Not even yourself. What is it, mister?
Mr. Finch says he's ready to board, sir.
Oh, he is, eh? All right, I'm not stopping him.
Sir.
Yes?
He insists on bringing them aboard one at a time.
What? Does he think I'm going to miss the tide? There's over 400 of them. It'll take hours.
Well, that's what I said, sir, but...
I'm captain of this blasted hulk, or what she is, but I'll not be told by a slum-gullion landsman what to do.
Mr. Finch, come aboard if you please.
I'm sorry, sir. I should have resigned. Stinking, toothy, poor devil cargo.
Everything I cockalorum, Captain?
No, everything is not I cockalorum. What in blazes do you mean ordering my mate about?
No offense intended. Ain't none taken, I hope.
I want those scurvy wretches aboard now. All of them. You put them below and we'll weigh anchor.
One at a time, sir. One at a time. We've got to search them.
Why didn't you do that before you took them out of jail?
There's many a slip, Captain, if you know what I mean. You'd be surprised what those swine can pick up between jail and the docks. It ain't safe. Now, we've got to search them, one at a time, and that's a fact. You let me handle this, Captain. It ain't no ordinary cargo, you know. They're murdering devils. Every last one of them.
The convicts came aboard, one by one. I watched them. They were going from London to a land they'd never seen. A colony had bought them. Australia. 400. The sweepings and scrapings sorted out from the muck of the jails, with Finch in charge of them. Oh, I've carried dirty cargoes. Dye wood, for instance, crawling with scorpions and spiders, not to mention snakes. And then there's cattle. But this, weeks and months at sea with a human cargo who'd as soon cut your throat as spit. And what made it worse was, I felt sorry for the poor beggars. I watched them come aboard until there were 2 left.
Name? Wilkes is the name. Search him.
Take your bleeding hands off me. I've got nothing. Just stole my last farthing. Shut your jaw.
That's enough, Finch. I won't have the cat used on my ship. I'll get enough of it where they're going.
You're a trusting soul you are, Captain. How would you like that between your ribs? The touch of the cat's a lot better than letting the swine bring a knife aboard, eh? Take 'em below.
I said, all right.
I don't know how they do it. Help me, I don't. You've got to watch for them knives. Next!
Right.
Oh, here's a terror. Look at the size of him. Dangerous swine. 3 murders in Australia. Escape. He's in for it when he gets back. Name?
Abbey. Jonathan Abbey.
Abbey. Well. A gentleman in chains. I'm sorry, your worship. Forgive us for daring to lay hands on your highness. I'm sure as how you've been wrongly accused.
That's enough, Finch.
Search him. Then take him below. I want Mr. Jonathan Abbey shackled. He's a prize. We mustn't let anything happen to him.
From the day we left London docks, I'd taken a violent dislike to Finch. He seemed to be happiest when he was laying about with his cat on the convicts herded like sheep below decks. He kept them quiet enough, but one night I decided to have it out with him in my cabin. Oh, I made it strong, I can tell you, so that even he could understand what I meant.
You all finished, Captain? All right. Now, you hear me out. They're a bad lot. 400 of them. All bound for Australia, and they don't want to go. You follow me? There's that bloke Abbey. As soon as we touch Sydney, the time's up for him. They'll hang him, sure.
That doesn't mean that you have the right to make life even worse for them here.
Oh, no? If I don't, where do you think we'll be? You, me, your mates. And the crew, well, from what I've seen of them, they're not much better than what's below.
You're doing a lot of jawing, mister.
I am. What would you do if you were down there? I'll tell you. You'd get hold of the ship and clear out. That's what you'd do. And it'd be easy.
They're locked in and we've got a guard.
You don't know them like I do. There's another thing. When I searched them, there was 1 to 5 sovereigns stowed away on every man, earned or stolen. That'll come to over £1,000 by my figures.
They're entitled to that money. It's little enough to take to a wild country.
It's true, but there's them down there what would slit the gullet of any man for 2 bob. And you asked me to be dainty with them.
That's the way he talked to me. And I can tell you I didn't feel easy anymore. I did something I hadn't done for a long time. I brought 2 pistols out from ship's stores and kept them under my pillow. It was when we got round the Horn that the first convict died. From scurvy. We had to put him over the side, of course, and there was a lot of grousing. I went down to the hold with Finch. It was hot and stinking.
Now, you let me talk to them, Captain. I'll put it to rights.
You tell them it couldn't be helped.
Now, don't you mind. I'll tell them.
Blimey. Here comes old bloody Paul. Oi, Finch. Did you steal the clothes off the poor beggar's back before you threw them in? Man, we ain't man dirty. We're dogs, haven't you?
Why is the way to bury poor old Smithy in a ground instead of chuck them in the sea? All right. We've got another 2 or 3 weeks before we reach land. I'll make a bargain with you. The next one what dies, now that it's getting nice and hot, I'll leave him down there, and you can take care of him and mourn till we get to Australia. How's that? I'll bet crown you don't keep him for 3 days.
That's old bloody Paul. Always a nose for business.
But if you ain't satisfied with that, I'll see that the hatch is closed down tight for the rest of the voyage. And you can boil for all of me.
That seemed to settle it for a time. I began to see that in spite of Finch's hardness with them, the prisoners knew he was master and behaved themselves. That is, most of them did. But there were others. And that's what began the trouble. We were 2 days out of the Cook Islands when it happened. Yes?
Captain, there's a man on deck. We brought him up from below. It's horrible.
Why, what's happened?
One of the convicts,
Oh?
All that blood, sir. Oh, devil. I tried to do something, but it was too late. By the time we got him up...
Fight, eh?
Yes, sir.
Here we are, Captain. Mr. Darling ain't much of a surgeon, I must say.
I did what I could. He must have been dead before we got him up here.
Why, he's been cut to pieces.
Not half he ain't.
How did it happen?
Oh, I heard him shouting. When I went down in the hold, there he was, propped up like against the bars, with his arms through holding him up.
He must have been dead. He must have been.
Poor devil.
Oh, him? No, he's dead. There's others in for it, though.
What do you mean?
Well, how'd you think he got cut up like that? Knives, Captain. Knives.
But you searched them before they boarded.
I did, and truth, I don't know how they come to do it. Small knives, Captain. Small knives. We're getting close to Australia. That's what it is. Whoever's got them knives, he's after money. £1,000 or more what's on this cursed ship.
Well, I don't see...
You're a trusting soul, you are, Captain. Maybe there's a dozen of them. Maybe 20 with knives. Follow me? They'll run the others and rob 'em blind. Gold sovereigns, Captain. You didn't forget, did you? If anybody objects, cut him up in small pieces like him.
We've got to go down there and put a stop to it.
Yes, I don't think. How many guns you got aboard?
2 pistols and 4 muskets.
That's a fat lot of good. Oh, well, let's take the sweet with the sour. We can try. There's no harm in that. Mark my words, Captain. Before we get to Sydney, all of us probably will have our throats cut. Come on.
Finch and I, with 2 seamen, armed ourselves and went down into the hold and stood outside the bars. The men inside were quiet. Very quiet. They just looked at us. Dark like.
You, men!
I'll talk to them. Now listen to me. We know some of you are carrying knives. I want you to throw them out here. Nothing further will be said about it if you do as I say. Well?
Captain, dear, my porridge wasn't hot enough this morning. And please, sir, can I have sugar in it tomorrow?
That ain't the way to talk to this scum. The captain's a gentleman. I'm not. You know me, don't you?
We knows you all right.
You, Abby.
Yes?
I've a mind you're the leader down here.
Good old Abby.
I'm flattered, Mr. Finch, but you forget I'm shackled to my bunk. You saw to that.
You listen to me. I'm giving you till morning to throw them knives out here. Till morning. If every blasted one ain't out of your dirty hands, I'm going to have you flogged. Every ready one of you. 50 lashes. You hear me, Mr. Abbey?
I'll think about that.
Till morning. Then 50 lashes. You think about that, Mr. Abbey. I didn't think they'd give 'em to us that easy, Captain.
There's going to be trouble, though, with this flogging.
There'll be more if we don't get the knives away.
Good morning, Captain dear, and Mr. Finch.
You filthy scum! Where's them knives?
Where they'll do the most good.
All right. I've given you a chance. I played fair. Now...
Mr. Finch, sir, may I have a word with you?
Oh, come to your senses, have you?
Bend closer to the bar, sir, because what I've got to say, I've got to whisper.
Well, what is it?
Mr. Finch.
That's 100 lashes. Wilkes, I'll take you first and handle the cat myself.
Oh, no, sir. No. Why not take him first? He won't feel it like I will.
The crowd of men parted suddenly, and from out of them was pushed what had once been a man. It fell against the bars. Then, no longer with the support of living arms, it slid to the deck. We looked at him, Finch and me. His life had been worth a sovereign, maybe 2. He hadn't either now. And the knives were still in the hole with them that had killed him.
Tonight, some more of radio's greatest stars check in at CBS, the Star's address. The first you'll hear are Amos and Andy, who are going to be on hand with the Kingfish, Shorty the Barber, Algonquin J. Calhoun, and, of course, Sapphire. Then, a little later, Red Skelton. With Joey Adams, Eve Arden, Jack Benny, and Corliss Archer already on hand, be sure you add Amos and Andy and Red Skelton to your Sunday night listening dates starting tonight over most of these same CBS stations. And now, we return you to Escape.
Now, as I sees it, we've got to have a council of war, in a manner of speaking.
I'll tell you one thing, Mr. Finch. There'll be no flogging.
I can see you're a sharper, you are. No, that's right. Too dangerous. We ain't armed for it, and they're in a nasty mood. Now, we've got to be crafty, same as them.
I wish we could spill the whole lot of them overside.
Lose your contract for carrying them? Not bloody likely. Now, listen here. I'll get them knives. How? It's Abby behind this. He tells them what's what. Get him out, and the others will come around. Mark my words.
Are you going into the hole to get him?
No, not yet. Couldn't be safe now. Not for nobody to go in there. But in 4 or 5 days, after we cut off their water and food, seal the hatch, you see what happens.
They die.
They'll die from the knives, then. Which do you want? They'll be begging you to take the ruddy knives in 3 days.
And if they don't?
We tell them to hand over Abby to us. That he's the one to blame for their misfortune. They'll do it.
All right. If it's the only way, I'll give the order.
But not just yet, Captain. We'll let them sit down there and wonder. Wonder what we're going to do about it. Some of them may get nervous. We'll let them wonder a bit.
I didn't see Finch the rest of the day. The barometer had fallen suddenly, and with it came a storm. I can tell you I had my hands full for the next 24 hours. There was no time to worry about what was going on in the hold of the ship, but I didn't think they'd have much stomach for knifing each other and killing. I was wrong. The next morning at breakfast, Finch didn't turn up. He didn't turn up at all. We searched the whole ship. And then I went down into the hold, and that's where he was. And he hadn't died quickly. Someone had held him against the bars, and the others had... He hadn't died quickly.
Good morning, Captain. Present for you.
Who did this? Who did it?
I wouldn't waste sleep mourning him, Captain. He was a bully, and no better than us, except that he was outside.
Abby, I thought you were shackled.
I was, but Mr. Finch kindly supplied the key to unfasten me.
You're going to pay for this. All of you. Now, where are the knives?
They're in here, Captain. How'd you like to come in and get them?
You'll pay for this! You're repeating yourself, Captain. Good morning.
That blasted convict had dismissed me. Like I was a clerk in an office. And there wasn't anything I could do about it. With Finch out of the way, I knew I was an easy mark. It was the nights that got on my nerves. I could hear things happening. Lots of things. And it was awful. Those devils with the knives. And each morning we'd have to pull out 6 or a dozen, all cut about and bleeding. And most of them died. Those with the knives were getting money. Money they stole from the victims. I began to be afraid of my crewmen. One would take a bribe and let that murdering crowd out. I walked around with 2 pistols in my jacket all the time. And then, late one afternoon, something very bad happened. I was standing by the wheel. Yeah, here, boss.
He got off, sir.
Got out?
Who? The big one. Heavy. 2 of us were standing guard. We heard a scream. It was Heavy. He said he'd been stabbed. Benson here opened the grill to get him in. Heavy bashed him on the head in both.
What about the others?
I got the grill closed in time. They're safe enough. He must be somewhere on the ship, sir. Unless he went overboard.
No, not that one. He's up to mischief. You take one of my pistols, mister.
Aye, sir.
You, Benson, pass out the muskets. I want every inch of this ship searched. If he puts up a fight, shoot him. Do you hear me? Shoot him! The night comes quickly in 7 parts. Did you ever try to search a ship at night with lanterns? It's not easy. Too many shadows, too many sounds which could be rats or a murderer who's bigger than what you are and could choke your life out in half a minute. We couldn't find him, but he was somewhere aboard, waiting his time. Because we were short-handed, what with the crew searching, I stood a watch. And I thought about that man who Finch said had committed 3 murders in Australia.
Don't turn around, Captain. It's only a little knife. Don't move.
What do you want?
A talk.
I've nothing to say to the likes of you.
That may be. But I have an offer to make you.
An offer?
It's not safe here. One of your men will be along. Then we go to your cabin.
Do you think I'd trust a man like you? Alone?
You make it difficult for me. If someone comes, I may have to cut your throat.
I'd as soon have it cut on deck. Now, what do you want?
All right. You know what I'm in for when we reach Sydney.
Finch told me I've no pity for you.
I'm not asking for pity. I have an offer to make.
Then I can do no more than listen.
The men below are planning to take the ship. I don't think they've got a chance, but they'll be killing. Those that have got the knives have got all the money, too. It's £1,200.
I'm aware of that, mister.
I can get the knives for you.
Huh?
All I want is the chance to get away before the ship docks.
How do I know it's not a trick?
Turn around, Captain. Here, my knife. Will that convince you? I'm unarmed. You must have a pistol. You can shoot me if you want.
What makes you think that you can get the knives away from them?
I can. That's all you need to know, but...
But?
Will you help me?
How can I trust you?
I don't know, Captain. Except that I think you do.
I couldn't help you openly, you know that. You were put aboard as a murderer. You're in my charge, and it's my job to turn you over to the police as soon as we arrive.
Then,
Well, if you could get the knives, though, I might be able to give you a chance to clear out.
That's all I want, the chance.
All right.
I must have a pistol.
What?
A pistol.
You take me for a fool.
No, it's the only way to get the knives.
I give you this pistol and you shoot me down? Not likely.
Captain, if I'd wanted to do that, I'd have cut your throat 2 minutes ago.
You're a murderer.
I know.
You can't have it.
It's either them or your ship, and probably your life. Well?
You talk like a gentleman, but suppose you want my pistol so that you can free them.
You just have to trust me as I'd trust you to give me a chance to get away.
Take it. Here.
What about the guards below? They'll shoot.
I'll take you down. Say I caught you.
How do I get out again when I've got the knives?
Send word that you want to see me.
All right. Captain, I'm trusting you now. I want that chance to get away.
We'll talk about it if you get the knives. I'll take you below now and come back tomorrow.
Keep your voice low. They think I'm tricking you into making a bargain. They think I stole the pistol. I told them that I had to have the knives to make you believe that we wouldn't make trouble. I'd said that we'd take over the ship tonight.
What do you want me to do?
Leave me the key to the grill. I'll slip out tonight and bring you the knives.
They'll want you to let them out, too.
I won't. I'll lock it.
How do I know you will?
You don't. You have to trust me.
Do they know about this plan?
All except for the fact that I'm going to lock them in once I'm out.
Give me the knives now.
No. They'd know something was wrong. I'd never get out alive. Give me the key.
All right. Here.
All right. Good night.
I waited. And I can tell you that I didn't like it. The wind came up a bit, and I knew that before sunrise we would be in Sydney. That is, if I should trust a murderer. At 10 o'clock that night, there was a tap on my cabin door.
One of your crew nearly caught me coming down here. Well, I've kept my side of the bargain. Yeah. Oh, they're all there. You needn't worry. Here's your pistol.
You may need it.
Thanks. Now, how do I get away?
We'll be in port in about 6 hours if the wind holds. You stay aft in the longboat. When you hear the anchor go, drop over the side and swim for it. I'll try to anchor as close to land as possible before I take her in.
If I can land without being seen, I've got some friends who will hide me.
I don't want to know about it. Just remember, when the anchors lets go, that's your signal.
Thank you, Captain. I trust you. And, I'd like to shake hands with you.
I took the hand of the murderer, and we shook hands like old friends. And then he was gone. 2 hours later, the wind went down, and in its place came fog. Thick, mucky fog. I had my hands full, what with danger from other ships and the blasted current that knocks you about off the harbor entrance. By 3 o'clock, the fog had shut in properly, and the blessed tide ran us all over the place. It was proper dangerous, I can tell you. We were about 15 miles offshore, and I didn't like the looks of things. There's shoals thereabout, and I sent the mate for it to heave the lead. I got a proper start when I heard him sing out, We'd got off course right enough, and at this rate, we'd shear the bottom clean off her. I saw it was high time to bring the ship up and wait until we could see something.
Let go of the anchor! Let go of the anchor! Give her 35 fathoms to the water's edge, bosun. Hard shot!
None too soon, sir. She was shoaling fast.
Blasted current must be making 5 knots out to sea. Listen to her.
She's holding, sir!
The anchor! The anchor!
Abby!
I went to the longboat. It was empty. He'd heard the signal as the anchor paid out. He couldn't see in the fog and had gone overboard into a 5-knot tide running straight out to sea, 15 miles from shore. He trusted me. That's why I tell you, you shouldn't trust anybody. Sometimes it's hard sleeping at night. When you hear the water outside and you think, that's when it's hard to sleep.
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Today we have brought you A Sleeping Draught by Weston Martyr, adapted for radio by Anthony Ellis, with Ben Wright starred as Captain Godfrey. Featured in the cast were John Dodsworth, Bruce Payne, Anthony Barrett, John Boehner, and Lou Krugman. Special music was arranged and played by Ivan Ditmars.
Next week, escape with us to a train rushing through a European night, and a beautiful woman who demands your help. As Anthony Ellis tells it in his exciting story, Roulette.
Escape is the first in a series of CBS features recently programmed for your Sunday afternoon listening. Later this afternoon, you'll hear Make Believe Town, a series of dramas set in Hollywood with Mr. Walter Wanger as your host. Later, you will hear, on most of these same CBS stations, the first Sunday broadcast of Arthur Godfrey's Digest, a half hour of the cream of wit and humor from the Redheads weekday show on CBS. Earn Your Vacation also returns to CBS this Sunday afternoon. And starting next Sunday, Frank Sinatra checks in again at CBS, the Star's address, with his new hour-long radio program, so be sure to listen for Frank Sinatra. Stay tuned now for Make Believe Town with Mr. Walter Wanger as your host, which follows over many of these same stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. This is CBS, where you enjoy the Contented Hour every Sunday night, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are being held in a cave on Pluto by two criminals who plan to dispose of them. Now, the Commander and Happy have managed to get to a spaceophone in the cave.
All the meters check, Happy. There's nothing wrong with the spaceophone after all.
That's great. We can have a whole squadron of Space Patrol ships out here in a few minutes.
This is an emergency call from Commander Corey to Pluto City Space Patrol Unit. Send ships to Sector G18. Look for my ship, Terra 5, grounded near a steep bluff. Professor Walker, Cadet Happy, and myself are being held by...
Use the radar quickly! I want to get Corey permanently!
We'll return in just a moment with today's Space Patrol adventure, The Prisoners of Pluto.
Hiya, gang. This is Captain Dick Tufeld speaking. I'm just having myself a stroll down the street before I turn in for the night. Uh-oh, what's that light blinking in the window of that house across the street? Say, I'm going to investigate. That light's a signal, and it's a Space Patrol code system. It says, be sure to tell the boys and girls how to get a Space Patrol pocket projectoscope. Hey, that's a real projectoscope that boy's signaling with. Gang, I'm going to get him to tell you all about his projectoscope because you can have one, too.
I thought that'd bring you running, Captain Tufeld. Come on in. Boy, am I glad I sent for this projectoscope. It's really something.
Tell the gang all about it, Space Patroller.
Well, kids, it's not only a keyed signal light. You can use it as a film projector in a dark room. Watch me flash pictures with it on the wall, Captain. There. See that picture? That's a picture from a Space Patrol adventure called Mighty Meteor. And it comes with your projectoscope on a strip of film with 3 other swell stories called Space Pirates, Men from Mars, and Robot Invasion. And Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy are in them, too.
And, gang, on this one film, there are 24 different pictures.
The projectoscope's a real flashlight, too. A flashlight in the shape of Buzz Corey's rocket ship.
And it's a winner for looks. A neat 6 inches long, made of smooth, tough plastic, with 4 big tail fins and a 1-inch radar antenna.
Just think, a signal light, flashlight, film projector, and model rocket, all in one.
Gang, to get an official Space Patrol projectoscope, complete with bulb, battery, and film, do this. Buy a box of Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the cereals with a wonderful magic space picture on the inside. And then with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 35 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Prisoner of Pluto. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have been in Pluto City awaiting the arrival of Professor Malcolm Walker, who is from another city on this outer planet. Deeply concerned over the professor's failure to arrive, Buzz has ordered patrol ships to search the dark, constantly frozen surface of Pluto. Several hours later, Buzz and Happy join in the search, scanning rocky crags and valleys of frozen air with infrared probe rays from their ship Terra 5. Finally, Buzz sees the wreckage of a small lab ship at the base of a long slope. Now, in their spacesuits, Buzz and Happy are climbing the slope in order to investigate the wreckage.
The ship doesn't look too badly damaged, Commander. Even a tiny hole in the hull would be serious damage here on Pluto, Happy. Unless Professor Walker managed to get into a spacesuit, the intense cold and lack of air would finish him in a few seconds.
There doesn't seem to be any sign of life, sir. I don't see any lights in the ship.
Let's get the hatch open. Focus your atomo light over here, Hap.
Yes, Commander.
I'll go in first, Happy. You ready to open that first aid kit? If the professor's still alive, we'll have to work fast.
It's ready, sir.
Secure the outer hatch.
Hatch secured, sir.
Well, he's not in the control section.
Want me to check the aft compartment, sir?
All right. He may have sealed himself in after the crash. Hey, wait. What's this on the control panel?
It looks like a note, Commander.
Hold your light on it. Ship crashed due to instrument failure. Spacephone equipment damaged by crash. I am not hurt. 2 hours after crash, I thought I saw a flash of light due west. Since rescue at this position is unlikely, I've gone to investigate sources of light. I shall appreciate finder of this note relaying this information to Commander Corey of the Space Patrol, who is now in Pluto City. I'm carrying a projectoscope and an atomo light. Professor Malcolm Walker.
Professor Walker should have stayed with the ship.
Well, it's good to know he wasn't hurt. But I wonder what caused that flash of light he saw.
There's nothing out here in this part of Pluto, unless another search ship has landed here.
The light was probably a reflection in the frozen air that covers the ground. A reflection from a ship far above this planet.
Well, if Professor Walker took an atomo light with him, it shouldn't be too hard to find.
Let's get back to our ship, Happy. We can head due west, low altitude, and see if we can locate him.
Right, sir.
First, just to prevent any further wild chases all over Pluto, I'll add to this note in the event he returns here. I'll ask him to remain.
Just a minute.
There he is on the sled, just like I told you on the space phone. Found him unconscious, almost tripped over him in the dark.
All right. Let's lift him out of this airlock. Say, didn't you chop any more frozen air, Orman?
Oh, that first little hold us until we find out who this guy is.
Just set him down here. Well, anyway, he isn't with the Space Patrol.
Yeah, his suit says United Planets Research Foundation.
What kind of a research would he be doing out here?
His eyes are open now, Hagel. Open his face, please, and find out who he is.
Wait, Roman. Chances are he's just lost. If we don't arouse his suspicion, we can keep him here until our supply ship arrives next week without any trouble.
Well, then what?
Then we will turn him over to the boys. They can get rid of him out in space.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Open the face piece, and I'll do the talking. Just take it easy, my friend. We'll have you out of that spacesuit in a moment.
Thank you. My heating unit went out. Guess I'm lucky you found me.
You certainly are. How do you happen to be on this part of Pluto?
My lab ship crashed a mile or two from here. Mm-hmm. I'm Professor Malcolm Walker with the United Planets Research Foundation. Mr.
Hagel. I'm a geologist.
I see. I wonder if you would let me use your spacephone to contact a friend of mine in Pluto City. He's probably worried about me.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're having a little trouble with our spacephone transmitter. As soon as my partner can repair it, we'll be glad to let you send a message.
Thank you.
Of course, it may take several days.
Several days?
Yes. You see, we don't have much spare equipment here, but our regular supply and relief ship should be here in about a week. You will be able to go back with them.
It's rather inconvenient. What am I complaining about? Here I am, recently saved from certain death, and I'm fretting about spending a few days in a warm cave with congenial companions.
I understand exactly how you feel.
Oh, by the way, was my projectoscope signal light on when you found me?
Signal light? No, just the regular Atomo light, and it was turned on.
Oh, good. And there may be a chance that a search ship will see the other light. I remember dropping it just before I collapsed. I'm afraid I was so numb with cold that I don't remember exactly.
You had a signal light?
Yes, as I said.
I see. Professor, if you'll come with me, I'll get you something to eat. I'm sure you must be quite hungry after the ordeal you had. If you just go into the next room and make yourself comfortable. Right through the door. I'll be right in.
Thank you, Mr. Hagel. I'm most grateful.
Oh, you're entirely welcome. Oh, Norman, could I speak to you for a moment?
Yeah, Hagel, what is it?
Well, I'm afraid you'll have to go out again and get some more air, after all.
Go out there again?
Yes, please. The old fool has dropped the signal light. You will have to find it before a search ship spots it. Now get going.
The signal light, that's all we need.
Yeah, hurry. I'll prepare a snack for our guest.
There's not a sign of anybody down there, sir.
Keep your eye on the viewscope, Happy. The professor couldn't have gone much farther than this on foot. He'll circle back and cover the area again.
He may not have headed due west after all, sir. Couldn't the infrared beam have picked him up by now?
Unless he's fallen into a crevice.
Yeah, then that would account for our not seeing the lights he said he was carrying.
It doesn't look too good. We better send for more search ships. Space upon Pluto City, Happy, but still keep an eye on the viewscope.
Yes, sir. Cadet Happy aboard Terra 5 calling Pluto City Space Patrol. Cadet Happy
Hold
aboard...
on a minute, Hap. Check your transmitter setting.
Yes, sir. Seems all right to me. Oh, I forgot about the new double scrambler circuit.
You were on two frequencies, Pluto City and Terra headquarters.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that. Terra would probably wonder why we were bothering them with a Pluto search problem.
The double scrambler is a good security measure, Hap. You can send the same message in two different codes, and no outsider listening in can tell if the same message is being sent.
Now, well, I've got it set for Pluto City alone now tonight.
Fine, Hap.
Oh, look, there's a projectoscope light, Commander, down there on the ground.
That must be Professor Walker's light. Happy, hold that call until we can land and do some investigating.
All right, Commander.
Why doesn't he turn it back on? He must have seen our ship light. Well, got a rough check on the location. Shouldn't be difficult to find it now.
Well, that didn't take you long. Any luck, Roman?
Where's the professor?
He's in the next room meeting.
I found the light. It's fallen into a narrow fissure in the rocks.
Was it down?
Yeah. It's pointing downward. I doubt if it could have been seen from his ship. Certainly had a close call at that.
What do you mean?
Just as I was picking up the light, I caught a glimpse of a spaceship's light over to the north. Quickly shut off the light.
Are you certain they didn't see the light?
I'm almost certain. They'd have had to be looking right at it. Anyway, they wouldn't see anything out there now, even with their brightest Atomo search beams on.
You're right. They never see the airlock opening unless they landed and stood right in front of it.
That was a delicious supper, gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Professor. Now, if you'll come with me, I'll show you. Well, you won't give us any trouble for a few hours.
You asleep?
Yeah, dropped off the moment he laid down.
Look, Hagel, why can't we get the supply ship here quicker? We can space phone them tonight.
That would be pretty stupid, Rorman. With search ships flying around this area. In a week, they'll have given out the search. Then it will be safe for the supply ship to land.
I'm sick of hiding out in this cave. We've been here 10 months. Surely the Space Patrol isn't still looking for us after all that time.
Well, I'd rather be here than in some Space Patrol detention center, undergoing suspended animation.
Yeah, I'd like to know how this differs from suspended animation. You hear that? Sounded like somebody in the airlock. Hegel. Look. Sorry if we startled you. I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol.
Yes, Commander. We were startled. You see, we weren't expecting company.
We're looking for Professor Walker.
Professor Walker? Why, there is no one here but my partner and myself.
Professor Walker's lab ship crashed near here.
Yeah, we found a note that he was headed in this general direction.
Oh, and he probably went right on past our airlock. We often miss it ourselves.
I don't imagine he's very far away. You're sure you haven't seen him?
Oh, no, we haven't seen anyone. Have we, Mr. Evans?
No, of course not. In case you hear anything about him, would you please notify the United Planets Research Foundation?
The United Planets Research Foundation? I see.
If you forget the name, you'll find it engraved on this projectoscope you have here on the table.
Projectoscope?
This one, Mr. Hegel.
Hegel? I don't believe I told you my name.
You didn't. You looked familiar to me when I first came in. I just recalled where I'd seen your picture.
And where was that, Commander?
We have a method of remembering faces we see in the Space Patrol wanted file.
I don't believe I understand.
It's very simple, but I'm not going to explain it now. If Professor Walker isn't here and you haven't seen him, how do you happen to have his projectoscope?
Rorman, get them.
Commander!
Here we are, Cadet.
Nice work, Rorman.
I saw the commander edging toward the projectoscope. I couldn't grab it in time.
It's probably just as well. Corey and the cadet have forced our hand. Now we'll have to play it safe. Lock them up. We'll get rid of them and the professor, too.
We'll be back with Space Patrol in just a moment. Hi, gang. This is Captain Dick Tufeld speaking from the Interplanetary School Stadium on Terra. I just saw a swell baseball game here. Listen to that crowd cheer the winners. Yes, it sure is fun when you're a winner. And here's something like that. But remember, to be a winner, you have to get supercharged. And here's the way to take care of that. Eat a good breakfast with Rice Chex or Wheat Chex, the bite-sized super cereals that help to supercharge you. Delicious! And there's plenty of zing in that Rice Chex flavor. And man, oh man, Rice Chex biscuits are toasted and toasted to make them crisper and crisper. And Wheat Chex? Ah, there's a flavor you'd fly to the moon for. Now, gang, remember, it's fun to be a winner, and hear this. So, move right up and be a winner. Move right up to the breakfast table for the breakfast that supercharges you. A power breakfast with the super cereals, Rice Chex or Wheat Chex. The cereals with Buzz Corey or Cadet Happy on the outside, and the wonderful magic space picture on the inside. And now back to today's Space Patrol adventure, The Prisoner of Pluto. Buzz Corey and Cadet Happy have been led to a secret cave on the dark, frozen planet Jupiter by a projectoscope signal lamp dropped by Professor Walker when he collapsed in his spacesuit near the cave airlock. Confronted by the commander, the two criminals, Hegel and Rorman, first denied they had seen the professor. But when Buzz discovered the professor's telltale projectoscope, the two fugitives rendered Buzz and Happy helpless with a paralyzer ray gun. Now, still under the effect of the paralyzer rays, Buzz and Happy have been carried to a cave room next to the one in which Professor Walker lies sleeping.
Okay, come on, let's get going.
Paralyzer's ray ought to hold them for another half hour. That'll be plenty of time.
Did you hear that, Happy?
Yes, Commander.
Try moving your arms and legs.
I've already tried, sir. My paralyzer rays seem to have worn off.
Good. The spacesuits protect us from the full effect. Let's try to locate a spaceophone and alert Pluto City.
How about the spacephones in our spacesuits?
Remember, we're inside a cave. A long distance from Pluto City. The signal won't carry.
Oh, that's right, sir. Oh, Hegel does have a spacephone in here.
We'll search the cave first and find Professor Walker. Then we'll see what we can do about a spacephone. Professor? Professor Walker. Wake up, Professor.
What? What's going on? Who are you?
I'm Commander Corey of the Space Patrol.
Of course, sir.
Commander, am I still in the cave?
Yes, Professor, you are.
Yeah, that's a relief. I'm afraid I owe Mr. Hagel and Mr. Rorman an apology.
You do?
Yes. For a brief moment a while ago, I suspected them of trying to keep my presence here a secret. Isn't that ridiculous? I suppose it was due to my fatigue and fear after cracking up.
Now, listen, Professor, there isn't much time. Your suspicions were correct. Hegel and Rorman are criminals. What? The Space Patrol has been searching for them for months. You happened to stumble on their hideout.
Then you captured them?
Not yet, but we will. We need your help. Where's the spaceophone?
Spaceophone? They told me it was out of commission.
Well, I'll bet they've got a spaceophone around here somewhere. And in good working order, too.
So we'll check. Professor, better get your spacesuit on. Be ready to move out of here in a hurry.
I certainly will, Commander.
If we're unhappy, we'll try to locate Hegel.
Put this stuff down here. We can store it away later.
Okay, here you go. Say, this is a real haul. We got quite a load of supplies out of their ship, didn't we?
Yeah, we sure did. Now, let's get the three of them and put them on Corey's ship. Have your ray gun handy. We may have to give them another blast.
All right. Are you sure you can make the ship crack up look like an accident?
Just leave it to me. We'll take Corey and the cadet to the ship first. Then come back for the professor. Wait.
What is it?
I hear voices in the spaceophone here. Be quiet. I'm going to open the door.
All we need is something. Nothing wrong with the spaceophone. Here we go. Emergency from Commander Corey to Pluto City Space Patrol. Send a patrol unit to Sector G18. Look for my ship, Terra 5, grounded near Steep Bluff. Professor Walker, Cadet Happy and myself are being held captive.
Norman, blast them with the ray gun, quickly! That takes care of them. Switch off the spaceophone. We got to get them to the ship in a hurry now.
Space Patrol, Pluto City, calling Commander Corey. Message received.
Hegel, I heard you.
We have established a fix on your location in Sector G18. Rescue ships will be dispatched immediately. Space Patrol Unit, Pluto City out.
Confound it.
Hegel, what are we going to do now?
We can't wreck Corey's ship. Those rescue ships would eventually locate the cave.
Can we contact Jackson and Trask? Maybe they can get here before the Space Patrol arrives.
We can do better than that. We can get away from here in Corey's ship.
Yeah, but who's going to pilot it? Where will we go? You don't know astrogation, neither do I.
Oh, I can get it spaceborne. After we're off Pluto, we'll wait till Corey and the cadet come out of the ray gun effect. Then we'll force them to take over and take us to Mars.
Yeah, but what about the professor?
If we take Corey, we'll have to take Walker, too. He'll be a good protection for us in case we're intercepted before Corey revives.
All right. Let's get him into Corey's ship. It won't take long for the patrol ships to get here. We better be gone. Happy, are you awake?
Huh? Yeah, yes, sir. Where are we?
Aboard Terra 5.
Commander, you got us off Pluto. Well, the last thing I remember was having Hegel and Rorman surprise us when we were using the spaceophone. How did you manage to get us away?
I'm afraid I didn't. Hegel and his partner put all three of us aboard our ship.
Oh,
Commander.
Yes, Professor?
I don't suppose you know where they're taking us?
No, I don't. You?
To Mars. They were talking after they used the ray gun on you and the cadet.
To Mars? Why would they risk discovery by blasting off in my ship?
Well, you see, the Pluto City Space Patrol unit replied that they had established a fix on the cave and were going to send rescue ships immediately.
What? I don't see how that's possible. Hegel and Rorman got us before we established contact with Pluto City. Besides, they couldn't have plotted a fix that fast.
It was my voice they heard.
Your voice, Professor?
Yes, I saw them watching you, and I knew they'd never let you complete the call. So I used the transmitter in my spacesuit to make them think you'd succeeded. Perhaps it wasn't such a good idea.
I'm not so sure. At any rate, it was very quick thinking, Professor.
But it didn't have the effect I hoped it would. I thought perhaps if they thought their position was hopeless, Hegel would surrender without harming us.
Well, at least it got us off Pluto, Professor.
But we're still their prisoners.
And we've still got a chance. So I hear somebody in the next compartment.
Oh, you've come out of it, eh? Come on, Commander. You and the cadet have work to do.
And if we refuse?
Roman and I can easily find a way to change your mind. All we want you to do is to plot an astrogation vector that'll take us to Mars.
Can't you do it?
I wouldn't be asking you if I could. There's a lot about the ship that I don't understand. And listen, Corey, don't try any tricks. I'll know Mars when we're close enough to see it. And don't forget, whatever happens to the ship happens to you, too.
All right, Hegel.
Okay, after the control compartment, then. Professor, you'll stay here.
right, Hagel, there you are. We're on automatic control now. We ought to reach Mars at about 2300 Universal Star Time.
And you swear the directory you set keeps us off the regular space lane?
I said it did, didn't I?
I'm going to watch the viewscope, Corey. And if another ship appears following us, you'll regret it.
Well, can we help it if somebody sees us accidentally?
It'll be up to both of you to avoid that accident.
Yeah. Now look, Corey. I want my men to meet us on the Martian plane and pick us up there. Turn on the spaceophone so that I can contact them.
No fix on this either.
I don't know how this thing works, but I do know when the scramble circle is set to the right combination.
And which one is that?
Scrambler code 31567. Now set it.
All right.
That's it. Now cut on the transmitter. This is Hagel calling Jet Trask at Saturn City. Hagel calling Jet Trask at Saturn City.
I hope he and Jackson can hear the receiver.
Hagel, spaceborne out of Pluto, calling Jet Trask at Saturn City.
Maybe Corey's trying something.
Spacephone's on, don't worry.
Hagel to Trask.
Trask here. Go ahead, boss.
Trask, listen carefully. I got a job for you.
How did you get off Pluto? I thought
Just listen. I want you to take a ship and meet me on the Martian plane, Sector 5G. We'll be there at about 2300 Universal Star Time.
Got it. I'll be there.
I'll be aboard Commander Corey's space battle cruiser, the Terra Pine.
What? Hey, listen, are you making a deal with Corey?
Don't be a fool, Trask. If I were double-crossing you, would I use Corey's ship? I've got Corey and his cadet and Professor Walker here at the ray gun point.
Okay, Hagel. I'll pick you up at Sector 5G, Martian plane at 2300 hours Universal Star Time.
All right, Trask. Hagel out. Cut it out, Corey. Roman. Take Corey and the cadet back to the compartment. We'll bring them out again when it's time to land on Mars. Nice landing, Corey. And now this is where we say goodbye.
Yeah, we'll miss you.
You won't miss a thing from now on.
Yeah, this is it. For all three of you.
Let's finish them before Trask lands so we won't waste any time getting away from them.
There's just one thing I want to do first, Hagel.
Yeah? What is it?
This! Get him happy while they're off balance. Well, I guess that takes care of our friends, sir. Get their weapons happy.
Foreman, why didn't you watch Corey?
How did I know he was going to jolt the ship with a rocket blast? Anyway, maybe Trask can help us.
That's right, Corey. The alert you gave the ship will tip him off that something's wrong. He'll get us out of this.
I think you'll find that Trask is having troubles of his own. Have a look in the viewscope.
Space Patrol ships.
That's right.
Where did they come from?
You told them where to find us, Hagel.
I did?
Yes. And you were talking to Trask on one scramble frequency. The same message was being sent out on the regular Space Patrol emergency frequency. Happy, take them back out and lock them up. And ask the professor if he cares to join us.
Right, sir. All right. Come on, you two. Be our guests for a change.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. And now, gang, here's Cadet Happy to tell you how you can have fun 10 different ways with that swell new Space Patrol projectoscope shaped like a rocket ship. Number 1.
Show pictures on the wall with it.
2.
Use it as a flashlight.
3.
Give signals with it at night.
4.
Hide secret messages inside of it.
5.
Play Space Patrol with it.
6.
Light it in a dark room. Looks like a rocket flying at night.
7.
Wire it on your bike for a new and different kind of ornament.
8.
Keep it to dress up your room. Stand straight up on its tailpins.
9.
Keep it by your bed at night. Comes in mighty handy.
And 10.
Take the bulb and battery out and use it as a roomy pocket case for marbles, jacks, money.
Yes, sir, gang. The projectoscope is lots of fun. And it comes to you complete with bulb, battery, and film for showing pictures on the wall. To get a projectoscope, do this. Buy a box of rice checks or wheat checks. Then, with your name and address, send 35 cents in coin and a rice checks or wheat checks box top to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are investigating a space factory revolving in an orbit around the planet Venus. Suddenly, they find themselves locked in a freight-handling chamber room, floating in the middle of the room.
Trowbridge has cut the artificial gravity field. We're completely weightless.
Well, how are we going to get down to the floor? Oh, my head. Smoking rockets, Commander. We fell up.
Up to the ceiling. There's the floor down there below us. Corbett, reverse the gravity field. The pull in this room is toward the ceiling. Well, now how are we going to get down to the floor? We'll get down to it all right. The hard way, I'm afraid. Corbett will reverse the gravity field from floor to ceiling till he breaks every bone in our bodies.
Be sure to listen next Saturday for the exciting story, The Venus Space Factory, when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again bring you Space Patrol! Special bulletin for boys and girls in Springfield, Illinois, Terre Haute, Indiana, and Washington, D.C. Buzz Corey's own space battle cruiser, the Ralston Rocket, will be in your area next week. Don't miss it. The Ralston Rocket.
Boys and girls, this is your commander speaking. Help science help you. Give every nickel and dime you can to the American Cancer Society.
Space Patrol, an original Mike Moser production starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston and directed by Larry Robertson. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, Bela Kovach, and Stephen Robertson. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston again present the new, exciting Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC TV station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.